Good evening. We're expecting something very special in this second semi-final at the 888 Zenren Welsh Open. The world's #1 ranked player Mark Selby faces the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, who seems to be back to his brilliant best in Newport this week. Now, Ding Junhui is already waiting in the final. The big question tonight is which one of these two stars of the game will join him.
I never doubted my ability. I just knew that my mind wasn't in probably the right frame of mind to play snooker, and I accepted that. And now I'm giving myself a chance to play.
Every match I go into, I'm confident of winning. I have belief in my own ability. I mean, I know that if I play well and play my A game, I'm capable of beating anybody.
You got to scrape him off the table. You know, he's one of them players that's just never going to go away. You know, whether they're quick frames or long frames, he's prepared to battle them out and do whatever it takes necessary to win.
As a class act, probably one of the greatest players ever to play our game. So I mean, it's going to be a tough match. Obviously, he's on form at the moment.
The world #1, you know, he's kind of well far ahead in the rankings, but he hasn't seemed to have maybe won the tournaments that really matter. And if you're world #1, you'd be expecting to kind of win them big events. So I'm sure you want to put that right.
Well, Terry Griffiths has watched both of these players very closely from the commentary box this week. Terry, what have you made of Ronnie O'Sullivan so far?
I think he's been one of the best players in the tournament. I mean, it's always nice to see him play, but it's just his style of play. You know, you always like to see him win, but he's got a very tough one tonight in Selby. He's starting to come into a little bit of form late on in the tournament, which is a good time.
And two very contrasting styles, as you say. Do you think Mark Selby has the game and the style to put Ronnie off his stride?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He done it here in the final a few years ago. I think Ronnie was, 8-5, 8-6 up, and Mark Selby come back and beat him, and you could see that Ronnie was losing his control of himself out there because of the way Mark Selby was playing. But everybody's got a different style, and Ronnie's got to handle it.
Well, as Terry says, this is a repeat of the 2008 Welsh Open final, which Selby won 9-8, and it's still remembered here as one of the greatest games that the Welsh Open has ever seen.
I was 8-5 down, and I think Ronnie's played well the night session. I think the first session was a little bit scrappy, and I was 5-3 behind. Then the night session, Ronnie seemed to pick up his form and looked like he was going to be running away with it. And obviously, me being me, I just seemed to dig in and obviously like scrape some frames out. And I think I had a good break to go 8-all, and then I held myself together well last frame and had a good 60-odd break, what I can remember.
Mark Selby from 3 down with 4 to play. Produced an epic recovery to win by 9 frames to 8.
Well, good evening. I'm up here in the commentary position, and I'm just going to ask Willie and Darren, our commentators for this evening match, a quick question. First of all, Willie, what have you made of Ronnie O'Sullivan's form this week?
Well, like it was back those few years ago when he led 8-5 at one time. He's just come back from winning a ranking tournament in Germany, his first for a couple of years, and that's been the key for me. That's given Ronnie O'Sullivan the confidence that he needs to go on to win this tournament. Obviously, it's going to be great tonight because we've got the current world #1 against the people's champion. We just can't get better than that.
Yes, that's great. And Darren, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think Mark Selby's going to have to do tonight to beat Ronnie?
Well, obviously, pop more balls than Ronnie is the obvious answer. But I think by Mark Selby's standards, you know, the start of the week, he's been a long way off his best, and he's already said he's been quite poor. He's gone through the tournament very quietly until last night, and against Stephen Maguire, he was absolutely scintillating. So if he can play the same as he did last night and maybe improve a little bit, and Ronnie a little bit off, he's got a fantastic chance. But it's a very good, intriguing battle to be savoured.
OK, Darren, thank you very much. Well, you've heard the expert views of our commentators. I'm sure the players can't wait to get out there and face the music and entertain everyone. So I'm going to hand you over now to our MC, our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Walker.
Thanks, Dominic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday night in Newport, and this is the very last session of snooker before tomorrow's climax of the 888 Zenren Welsh Open. It's a rerun of an epic final from 4 years ago. So without any further ado, let's get the boys on the bays. Please welcome a player who can only be described as a genius with a cue in his hand, beating Judd Trump in fine style yesterday in the quarter-final. He's on a roll after winning the German Masters earlier this month. 3 times a champion of the world. Blinken, you'll miss him. It's the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan. And his opponent, one of the most colourful characters on the circuit, beating in-form Stephen Maguire in his quarter-final. He won this title in 2008. He's a 2-time Masters champion who also won in Shanghai this season. The current world #1, the jester from Leicester, Mark Selby!
Well, they're excited about this match here at the Newport Centre. I hope you are too. It's the best of 11 frames for a place in the Welsh Open final. And there's no one who's looking forward to it more than our commentary team of Darren Morgan and Willie Thorne.
Well, thank you, Ashley. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And what a match we've got in store. I mentioned in my pre-match little commentary with Dominic Dow, we've got the world #1 against the people's champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and it literally doesn't get any better than that. Of the 2 players, the man in form has to be Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's had to come through a minefield as far as the draw is concerned. Had to beat Mark Williams, and he had to beat Judd Trump, and now he's playing the world #1. It doesn't get much tougher than that. On the other hand, Darren, I think Selby's just quietly coming to the tournament and just now showing his best form.
Yes, and like I said in our start-up to this evening's programme, Mark Selby had been a little bit quiet to start the tournament, but he's grown in confidence and he's got better as each round has gone on. Big test for him tonight. There's a lovely big crowd in here. And he's trying to get the thinnest of snicks there. That cue ball could go right up behind this yellow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Just pulled in short. It was a tempter for Ronnie to the right corner. Both players are going to have butterflies at the start of this match. Can't knock them for that.
It's amazing, really. You can play a bad shot, as Mark Selby did last time to the table, and of course it forces a mistake from your opponent, but it doesn't appear at first glance he's left anything straightforward. Is there anything available in that pocket? Doesn't look like it, so only a safety shot, so Ronnie's been quite fortunate there to get away with that. Two of the very, very best safety players in the world, these two. We know they can break build with, along with the best, but both these players know the way around to the table. You'd have to suggest Mark Selby's probably #2 to John Higgins in the tactical department. Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, is possibly #1 in the break building department now. Stephen Hendry obviously was the #1 before. He's not quite playing as well as he used to do. Just resting into one next to the pink. He's got to be a little careful. If it's too hard, he could leave the bottom one of those two reds into the corner. Almost caught the red and pushed it on, but I think it's okay. Easy, straightforward again. Just been looking at a few stats, Darren, and these two players have made 85 centuries this season between them. Mark Selby 45, Ronnie O'Sullivan 40. So they're, even though Ronnie's not been in the best of form until he won the German Masters, they're just so good in the break bowling department.
Yes, really, I couldn't agree more. Well, the only problem with that safety, he has put 2 reds in these corner pockets. Now, that one there, he looks like he's dead straight on the one to the left. Might see him try and pot this off the cushion. Just all depends whether that black is potable to the right corner. He's having a little look to see where the cue ball would have to be. Obviously, he got a slight angle on this red. He'll just pot it straight on. But as you can see, that's very straight. And that's tight with the black. So I think off the side cushion first. Did he play a developing shot there, Wills? That's what it looked like to us.
Yeah, I think he took a chance, didn't he? He wasn't quite sure. We saw the angle he had on the black. He had to finish really high on it, and he probably thought it was too risky. So he took a chance, and in fairness, he's been a little unlucky not to get on it better than this. It will cut, but we need a pair of step ladders to reach this one. Whatever, you probably need the long extended spider if he decides to take the pot on. Because he was in trouble, just decided to play a containing safety. You never get the advantage in that kind of safety shot, but the balk end is not the safety area now because of the red over the corner pocket. So he's got to be a little careful with his safety. Well, he's trying to decide whether he can cover the red over the corner with blue and yellow if he plays into the far left-hand corner of the table. My colleague Darren Morgan's just put that line in, and I quite fancy that myself. If he gets it just right, that's where he'd like the cue ball to finish. But decided against it. He feels he can't get back into balk off that red. The red he was Darren put a line up, and I think that shot's on there. You can see he can catch that red very, very thin on the right-hand side. As long as he misses a kiss on the blue, that's probably what's causing him the problem. Just worried about kissing the blue. He'll go very close to the blue if he plays this. He's played it well if he doesn't kiss the yellow. The blue's come to his rescue.
Yes, and he's put Mark now in a lot of trouble. I think Mark might look at just coming off the side cushion, resting onto that red by the corner. Yes, it wasn't a real lot he could do with that. Only had a bit of luck, a little bit fortunate in kissing that yellow to give him a full ball snooker on both balls. In an ideal world, Ronnie'd love to get in behind that yellow. This red that's in front of the cue ball is blocking his path there, and I don't think he can go off it thin enough.
At least what this kind of frame does, being the first frame of the match, it gives both players time to settle. And now I've got rid of all their pre-match nerves. There's one thing for certain, we're just coming up to 9 minutes of play, and we'll have a few frames this evening that take a lot less time than this one. We'll be back to normal now. Mark can play off the right hand side of the red and get in behind green, brown, or even the yellow, and then the frame should be normal. But I think Ronnie's played a careless safety shot there. I think this red might pot. Wow, he obviously played to just put the red on top of the red. He hasn't done that. But got away with it.
Never easy. To be fair to him, this could have been a lot easier for Ronnie. They've been going in at a slower pace this week across this top cushion. Another miss by Ronnie as the pink come to his rescue. I think just about. He might be able to get through to that outside red. It's going to be tight. This was an easy shot. It looks a lot easier at home. There's a lot thinner cut than what it actually was.
Same problem for Mark. He has to get the cue ball virtually on top of the yellow to cover those two reds on the right hand side. He's got to be a little bit careful with his safety shot. If he finishes short, got to make sure he reaches the top cushion. Now, how's the weight? Not very good. It's a poor shot.
Well, bit of a twitchy start by both players. It's understandable. He hasn't missed many of these this week. A lot of respect out there, both players. It's a good shot by Mark Selby. All he had to do was make sure they popped the right centre. He always knew he was going to be on this yellow too. Left corner. So we all talk about dustbins and what have you. Well, he's put all his eggs in one basket there. Now has he been lucky? Because the two reds to the right corner, they went, and I got a sneaky feeling he might be on nothing here.
Yes, it was a very aggressive shot at first glance though, and I'd have probably played in the same area that you, but Mark thought, well, the black's out of play, and I've got every chance of getting the black into play by playing that shot, and it's unbelievable to think he's not on a red. That looks the scenario. I don't think either of these two reds plot in the left-hand side. Played the aggressive shot, and unfortunately it's not worked for him this time.
Mark Selby, 3.
White's going close to that corner pocket. And if he can get an angle to this red to right corner, which I think he can, by sticking the cue ball in between yellow and brown. So at the moment, it's been a very cagey and nervy start by both players. It's good opening red. Didn't want the cannon off the other one, so again it's going to be a safety. It was a clean pot.
This must be a bit of a record actually. When has Ronnie O'Sullivan ever been at 39 seconds a shot? Obviously very early in this game that will go down to about 16, 17, 18 seconds before the night's out.
Mark Selby, one.
Now the black's in play. I expect whoever puts the next red will score quite heavily. Might take this on as a shot to nothing, potted in the left-hand corner. White back into baulk. At least they're getting the length right now, so I expect both players to play pretty well soon. Quick look at the 3-ball plant. It's not on, but he will use that red to play into baulk. The safety has been superb in the last few exchanges.
Yeah, so that was a very good shot, and what is interesting, Mark Selby's going to have to be careful here, because that last shot Ronnie's played, he's put them 2 reds, I think, into a plant to the left corner.
It's one of those, he's got to hit it as thin as he can, and the thing is, if you miss it playing it that thin, the red won't come away from the pocket. I don't think you can get through to it nicely.
Yes, I don't think he can get through to the plant at all. Well, he's just going to be very careful with the safety that he doesn't leave Ronnie the plant with his next shot. He is looking at this red, just below the black on the tight cushion. To be fair, that's one heck of a shot, that one.
Well, there you can see from that camera position the plant is not on. Well, he's having a go at this one, playing for blue or pink, and as long as he gets a little bit in the cue ball, gets it past the line of the blue spot, he should be okay. Well, completely mishit that.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
But once again, hasn't left anything simple for Ronnie.
Little wry smile off Ronnie there. And again, I don't think he's done too much damage. So this opening frame has turned into a real interesting encounter. Well, there you can see he's not going to get the red in there. Trademark red, that one normally for Ronnie.
Clever shot that from Mark, nothing potted, so he just screwed off the red into the reds and got a very, very good cue ball. Ronnie would normally take this pot on, but he can't get back into baulk. Now there's a chance if he wants to really play it slow, he can actually drop on the black, but of course that's far too dangerous. The black, you can see there, is virtually tight on the cushion. There's no straightforward shot back into baulk. He played a pot it and kissed the red away and stay on the black. So he's tried. Got the kiss but missed the pot.
Well, as you can see, we're coming up to 20 minutes this first frame, and it's still scoring 9 points to 8, which is quite unbelievable with the calibre of these two players. If you would fancy if this cue ball misses the ground and gets out the boat, and it hasn't, I was going to say we'll see him score a couple more here. There's a little roll up, but he is in total control now.
Well, if he's going to play the red that's nearest the left-hand pocket of two cushions, he'd better hope he doesn't hit it full ball, because he'll leave the other red in the corner. He's playing to hit the one that's nearest the black spot. Once again, if he hits that full ball, he's in trouble.
Foul.
Answer on a postcard, which red he's played for there.
The only thing I can think of really is play to come inside that green to get very close or just below the middle pocket for it to slide onto that red, but it was a misjudgment.
I think he's handled it well, Mark Selby, being the world number one. He's been the world number one now for a few months, and that is something that's obviously everybody's aim is to become world number one, and you'd think some players would go into their shell when they get that title, but Mark Selby has handled himself really well. Okay, he's not started tonight very well, but starting to show why throughout the season why he's number one. He's very, very consistent. Not really had an easy shot yet. Every time, looks a bit, obviously this frame's been very scrappy, but every time a player's got in, the black's been out of commission, the pink's out of commission. Oh, I can't believe this. I think Ronnie's missed more balls in this frame and he's missed throughout the whole tournament here at the Newport Centre this week.
And Mark's laughing, Wills, is quite funny. He's walking around with a big smile on his face like a Cheshire cat. Obviously he's enjoying himself out there. Well, in goes the red. I think he's a bit straight on the black, but it's the first pot for quite some time.
I've just been looking at the pot success rate. Ronnie O'Sullivan hasn't potted a ball yet, and his pot success rate's nil. And he must have had an attempt at probably 8 reds, has he, or something like that? He certainly had about 5 or 6 goes at the pot.
Mark Selby,
Have they changed the table? I mean, they were going in earlier in the week. Well, I think they're available to play in the Conservative League this Wednesday night if anybody wants to have them in their team. Both players really struggling at the moment. They probably won't get in your local Conservative team, Darren, would they, playing like this?
Well, just about, I think. I mean, this is still not a great scoring chance. He's actually come the wrong side of this pink. It's great, though. It's great to see it when you have a couple of frames like this. Just shows you how good you are. It's always nice to see it mixed up a little bit and a little bit of drama. Obviously, this is the first frame, so you always get the nerves, a lot of missed pots. You'd like to get off to the ideal start, but you can't always be achieved, as we're seeing. That was a better one. Just on this blue enough.
Well, if he was confident, he'd knock the pink in and spread a few reds out, because he only has the one loose red to get on. There's the beautiful cue action from Mark Selby we had a glance of there. He's decided to mature a couple of reds and to play, and that's brought another one out at least.
14.
Obviously the easiest colour to get on here is the black, but he'll be reluctant to play for that. He'll play for the pink or the blue, because the next red from the black is virtually impossible, so there's no value at all in playing for the black. Just having a little look here. If I play the pot and cannon into the four reds, I'd be unlucky not to be on pink or blue, so I mean he can't really screw past those reds, so he may use the reds to try and avail position. This will be a very attacking shot if it works. So he's playing to get on them, and that is very, very good. Well played, Mark Selby. Not a lot of players would have spotted that, and he knew he'd got a half a chance of being on blue or pink. Excellent shot. Not that it's difficult, but that's the shot of the frame so far.
$27. 28. $32. $34.
Mark Selby deserves to exactly what he gets out of the game. When we opened the club in Leicester and Mark came in as a 13-year-old boy, he used to come in every day and play 5, 6, 7 hours a day. And I've said it many times on commentary, he never looked like being the player he is today, but he just made himself play and play and play. And he's become one of the greatest players in the world. And at this moment in time, the best player in the world.
41.
So you've got the dedication and you've got the ability, that's the key thing. It's obviously, you can play 8 hours a day, but if you haven't got the ability, you're not going to improve.
47.
The lead 54. First frame safely under his belt now.
$53. $54.
It hasn't been pretty, but that won't worry Mark Selby supporters. Got about a dozen friends and family come up to watch him play this evening, and they'll be delighted. Like golf, there's no pictures on the scorecard. If you make a par from being in the trees or in the water or something, it's still the same thing, and that's what he's done here. He's now developed this into a nice break from really struggling earlier on.
.64. .66. .69. .73. .78. .84.
The thing is, Mark won't worry about how scrappy this frame has been now. Ronnie will, because he hasn't potted a ball yet.
84 on
The
frame.
black doesn't go in, but the frame improved greatly towards the end. A lovely break of 84 to take the first frame.
From Mark Selby, was just what the doctor ordered for him. What wasn't what the doctor ordered was a 30-minute frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He won't be happy with that.
And Dominic, do you think that's the reason why he's gone out straight away? I've only played one frame and he's gone out, just need to sort of forget that, clear his head and come back in?
Yeah, with Ronnie, for me, it's his mindset sometimes, and I know he doesn't enjoy playing players who play the game the way Mark Selby does, make it difficult, take the time on shots and things. Ronnie likes to play the players that he regards as playing the game in his sort of fashion, where they make the game look easy, they decide what shot to play and they play it. But someone like Mark Selby will know that he can ruffle Ronnie's feathers if he just takes his time and plays frames exactly like we've just seen there. And Ronnie can get bored very easily sometimes and get, you know, out of sorts with himself more than anything.
And Selby really seems to be sort of exuding a confidence in everything he does. He looks happy out there, he's smiling. I mean, he sort of looks happy and settled.
Well, he should be. He should have gone out, really, in the first round, shouldn't he, when he played Sam Baird. But, I mean, no, I think his form's coming good. He hasn't played great early on in the tournament, but it's got better every round. And it's a very good time to start playing well. But, of course, his style of play is what Ronnie doesn't like. Ronnie thinks he plays shots that are wrong. And that can unsettle Ronnie a little bit out there.
They may be wrong, but they certainly looked all right in the first frame, and it's Selby who leads 1-0, and he's also breaking off in the second frame.
And breaking off pretty good as well. Found the top cushion nicely. I don't think I've ever seen Ronnie attempt so many balls without potting one. You can see he's still on 0%, and he's had 7 attempted pots in the first frame. I wonder how long it's been since he's had 7 goes at a ball and not potted one. Probably when he was about 6.
I have noticed that Mark Selby plays that shot a lot, and he's very, very good at it. Always gets a good cue ball. Well, here's another pot, Willie. I think we might be seeing Ronnie go for in the right centre. All week he's been knocking these in for fun.
Yeah, he'd have to play in and out of balk if he wants to get on position if he plays in the middle pocket, so he refused it. Very pleased with the weight of the cue ball, though.
No, that just shows you the way he's feeling at the moment after that first frame, because there's no way he'd have refused that. He's openly said he doesn't really enjoy playing Mark Selby. He respects him as a player, and you can't not do. Well, he's already said, probably the best player in the world at the minute, current world number 1. Ronnie likes to be involved in matches that he's interested in. Sometimes I suppose that'd be the only fault with Ronnie. As good as he is, sometimes he gets his head on and he gets disinterested. I don't say for 1 minute that's going to be the path of things to come today. And as I say that, he's probably played the best shot he's played in this opening couple of frames.
Big target though, the reds below the pink. Can't leave anything on as long as he doesn't slide past them. And he has slid past them. Now that is very, very careless from somebody of Mark Selby's ability. You wouldn't expect that to happen. But it took a while, but he's eventually got it going. How many will he score at this first scoring opportunity?
Six.
Well, that's unfortunate. He's about 6 inches too far from being absolutely perfect there, and as we know, this table now has gone to a single table arena. And when he went to bed last night, there was 2 tables in here, and he was used to the way the one was running, because he'd played all his matches on it. Brand new cloth today, probably a little bit faster than what it has been playing. They caught him out then.
What a lovely arena that is. We've been coming to this Newport Centre for many, many years, and crowds are here in their droves this evening. And who wouldn't be? I mean, the quarter-final stage, we had probably 8 of the top 10 players in the world on display, and they haven't disappointed. There's been some excellent snooker played this week. Well, I think there's a gap between these 2 reds, believe it or not, as we see that shot played again. I think he can get through to the pink. How fortunate is that? Not straightforward though, this pink, it's missable. That's the shot Darren's put up what he thinks he'll play, and I think he's got it just right. Oh, unlucky. Did play around those 2 cushions to try and hit the middle of those 3 reds. Here's the shot that Darren suggested. Want the middle one of those 3 reds. I mean, if it just missed that first red, the shot would have been perfect.
Seven. Mark Selby, 7.
Interesting to see if Ronnie plays the aggressive safety shot here. He's been a little bit negative this evening in his safety. Yeah, I thought he'd start to play a little bit more open. But he might be pleased with the result. Well, it's just travelled enough. This cloth is definitely quicker than yesterday, isn't it, this new cloth?
Yes, well, like you said, it looked like he wasn't going to be happy, but now that Brown's come to his rescue, it's a very good shot, because he's now put Mark Selby in all kinds of trouble, and he probably is going to force Mark into going for a red to the left corner. He's got two options. We've seen a lot of that this week. He's just picked some... Oh, he caught some tape that's fallen off the lights up above. Yeah. But he didn't put it in his pocket like I think it was John Higgins the other night. He picked his up, stuck it in his pocket as for a good luck charm. It didn't do him any good, but it looked good.
Just playing to drop on the red. He won't be playing to get back into balk again. Just trying to rest on it off two cushions. He's played off one cushion. Still the same result there. Well, Mark's just coming round to look at the potting angle of this red, which tells me he can get through to it, and now you can see he can. Now this is fine, as long as you get near the pot, the white goes up towards the brown and green, but if you catch it thick, the white can cannon into the blue, so he's got to be a bit careful with this shot. I know Mark's made a break of 84 in the opening frame, but I'm not too sure he's settled, really. Concentrating so hard on making sure he hit it thin and not thick. Of course, he hit it miles too thin.
Yes, I was just going to say I couldn't believe Ronnie was going to take the harder red of the two. Surely this is the ball. Nicely down for the blue.
One.
But again, he's okay, but that's not what he's played. He played to go to the left-hand side of that blue. Changes hands, playing left-handed. And the blue goes. Now, has he screwed that cue ball into no man's land, or is he okay for it into the middle pocket?
He'd be reluctant to play on the pink here because I think the pink spot's covered, or to certainly go out of commission, because the pink will go up on the green spot. So he'd like to try and get on the blue really if he can. Yeah, he's just looking now to see if he can leave a straight blue. Everybody had hoped to be thinking, now I'll get the pink in. Then of course it ties it up, and with the black being out of commission, that's the reason he's played possibly for the blue. You've got to think about these kind of things. And once he gets rid of the reds around the pink spot area, he'll play the pink. Still be reluctant to play on the pink off this red. He'll once again go up for the blue.
One.
Well, you can see he's overscrewed it or underscrewed it. Take your pick. At the moment, this cloth is finding him out a little bit. I mean, he is on this red to left corner.
90.
And it goes nicely on the blue.
Slowly but surely he's removing the reds away from the pink spot area, so when he's got it there, you can see it's spottable now. Now if the pink still pots in the left hand corner, he might decide to play on the pink shortly. But if it won't pot in the left hand corner,
24.
he'll keep playing for the blue. this will free the pink spot now.
25.
This has been excellent, honestly. This has been such a hard work break. He's had to manoeuvre himself around those reds, and now he's got the pink spot free, and it will pot in at least both the middles and at least one of the corner pockets. And now this becomes a frame winning opportunity. It wasn't until that shot.
This red goes past the black to right corner. Pink goes back on his spot, so he's got a couple of options. He's got enough room, he could just stun this in and take pink to the right centre.
$32.
And all of a sudden, Ronnie's looking very good again.
I just really have loved this break. I know it's only 38 if he puts the pink, but there was absolutely nothing on, and he had to play 4 or 5 shots and just pick one red out at a time until he was able to get that pink spot in open play. And now he has every chance to win a frame at one visit, as Mark Selby eventually did in the first. It's superb.
$45. $46. $52. 53. $59. 60.
That's the ball Ronnie needed to square this up at one frame apiece. Because he couldn't put a ball in the first frame, now he looks like he can't miss, and like Willie have already said, this has been a terrifically constructed effort. You'd never have said it was a frame winning chance when he came to the table. Everything was covering each other and all mucked up, but he's really took these terrifically well.
Yeah, very unusual. Does it take a player some 30 odd points to get the break in a position where he can win the frame? But that's how many balls he had to pot to get that opening. He's just played that just about perfect now, so he can play on and off the cushion with loads of right hand side and try and kiss into the black. Oh, we got too much side on. He's disappointed there. I didn't think the angle was there to play it plain ball, but it was. So we had an 84 from Mark Selby after a very scrappy opening frame. That started scrappy, but O'Sullivan concluded it with a magnificent break of 80 to level at 1-all.
So all square, I guess that's what the neutral would have wanted. A great match developing frame by frame. Now, we've just got a little bit of time now to answer some of the questions that you've sent in to us via our Twitter address at BBC Snooker. Terry and Dominic are standing by for this. We've had one really interesting question from CAC Crusade, and this is: who are the top up-and-coming players at the moment, and are there any Welsh players on that list? Terry, you've got your finger on the pulse of grassroots snooker.
Yes.
Who would you say is the next player who's going to burst onto the scene?
Well, there's 2 at the moment in Wales that's playing in the professional game and is climbing up the rankings. Jamie Jones has gone quite high now from Leith into the top 48. Michael White has always been the player I thought may make the breakthrough, but he's got into the top 64 this year and moving forward. But the best Welsh amateur we got at the moment is Dwayne Jones. I think he's from Mountain Ash, and he's winning a lot of the senior tournaments as well as the junior events at the moment in the Welsh Snooker Association calendar. He's doing very well.
And I think I'm right in saying, Darren, in the commentary box, that Dwayne Jones is someone that you know very well, and he plays at your club.
No.
Do know him very well, and he has played at the club. He doesn't play at the club anymore. He plays in a snooker club now. They put a table in for him, a star table, in the Trekennis Snooker Club in Caerphilly. And as Terry said, you know, he's probably our best prospect as a junior coming from the coming through into the pro ranks. And I have worked with him in the past, a little bit on the coaching side, and he used to play in the junior league that we run at my club every Saturday. So he's a very nice young lad, and he's got a massive future ahead of him.
Just why he went back to the studio there. I was watching Ronnie, and he was looking at his friends in the audience and laughing as if to say, you know, I don't know how I played so poorly at the beginning. I feel okay now, but that's one that got away.
And he went for that one, Willie, on the back of his 80 last frame. If you remember at the start of the last frame, he refused the red. It was a lot easier than that into the other centre. It's amazing, this game. Confidence plays such a big part.
Well, he was using the yellow to slow the cue ball down, and that's one of those occasions where it didn't work for him. He knew he was cannon into the yellow. He knew he was going to push it over the corner pocket. Little unlucky to knock the yellow in. Always has lots of his friends come, and there's a very famous gentleman, Damien Hirst, the renowned English artist, art collector, entrepreneur, big Ronnie O'Sullivan fan, and I know they're great friends. He comes to most tournaments now. That's a good safety shot. He's covered the left-hand side of the table. I don't know whether he plays Damien. I'm not sure whether he's a player or not. I shall find out for you in the interval. See if he can pot a few occasionally. We're taking this one on, I think. There's no way he can play safe off this one, so we're just screwing it back for the blue. As you can see, there's nothing available in the left-hand corner, so he can risk playing this shot. Oh, brilliant. That's more like it. That's the kind of shots we're used to seeing from these two great players. Now, I know there's a couple of loose reds, but there's plenty of advantage here playing into either the side of the pack or even try and bring the black into play. He's just coming round to have a look at that pack of reds now. So yellow off the side, into the reds just below the pink, at pace. There is one into the right centre, but he'll play the cannon. He's in a bit lower than I thought anyway to play that shot. Yeah, so he's not played it. He's played for the one that's loose.
3.
Yes, you're all right, Willie. He's played for the one that's in the middle of that cluster, the right corner. Here we can see loads of room. Ideally, he'd like to be half ball on this pink after potting this red so as he can develop with his next shot.
4.
He just made sure then that he screwed that past being dead straight. So he'll be playing a little punch shot. Well, he gave it a good old punch. Has he landed on anything easy? He's on the one to the right centre, but it's awkward queuing.
The pink would have been awkward to get on, so he's gone up for the yellow green, but the yellow looks the favourite ball here. We know the pinks have fell into 3 of the top pockets now, so similar to the O'Sullivan break in the previous frame, where he had to work quite hard early on in this break. Until the pinks have developed in all those 4 pockets, you consider this a frame win opportunity, so you'll be trying to develop something else very shortly. Now, if it's just off straight on this red, I think he's actually gone virtually straight on the red.
30.
Just nudge those 3 reds, just a little semi-stun, and just bring 1 more red out. I don't know whether you can do that from here. No, he couldn't quite do it. He was running out of reds, isn't he, now? So he's going to have to play another. He played it very, very firm last time. He plays it firm this time. He might get himself in trouble, so he needs to just pick 1 out, I think. It's hard work at the minute, this, isn't it?
20.
Just a glancing blow, wasn't it, on that red? Now he's got the angle, he can play into the 2 reds to the right of the pink, and that will hold for the 1 loose red, the one directly above the black that's in open play. But once again, if he doesn't kiss these full, the cue ball could run through and be on nothing, so he's got to play this very carefully. Played it nicely. Had to make sure he kissed it full, and he did do. So similar to O'Sullivan, he's now got the pink available in all 4 pockets. O'Sullivan went on to win the frame with a break of 80. How many can Mark Selby get from the same position?
$28.
Right, he'll just be getting himself ready now. In his mind, I think he'll be thinking that there's a very good chance this frame might be won in this visit. Even though it's still not straightforward, there's still a lot of work to be done. Since the first frame,
36.
all of a sudden the standard has gone up by a long, long way to what we expected. And as I'm saying that, he's missed a red that
Mark Selby, 34.
he'd pot 10 out of 10, whether he's in a match or practice.
Worse still, he's brought another red out. The red that he missed, Jordan, came across the table and brought that red into play. And we often say at snooker, the first 30 or 40 points you score in a frame is not the... That's the most difficult part. The next 40 are usually a little bit easier. Now, has he got onto this red nicely? I think he has. The black pot to the right hand corner. I can't quite tell from here, but we'll have a quick look for you in a second. It obviously does, because Ronnie's come round to have a look already. So it's a case of getting high on the black so he can just nudge into those 2 reds. So he's absolutely perfect now. Just push those 2 reds out of the way, and then he's got the black spot free as well as the pink spot.
$11. $12. $19.
So 1 more good pot needed. I mean, this is not a gimme to the left centre. And that's high. Well.
Neil Sullivan, 19.
Blues come to his saving grace. Even though it wasn't easy, you'd have to say, well, he was an unexpected miss, especially after some of the shots he'd been playing. Missed that by a long way as well. This is really fascinating, I've got to be fair. It's been a good encounter so far.
Well, just when you think they're going to play okay, they've both made breaks of 80 now, and you think, okay, they're in form, and then they both miss a shot by quite a long way, a relatively easy one. He can swing this round 2 cushions and play for the green here if he wanted to. That's what he's done, played for the green. Needs a little bounce off the cushion, and he's played that beautifully. Nothing to do with the cue ball there, just roll it on off the cushion. They'll be on both reds as we see this red disappear again. It was a perfect example of a shot to nothing the way that Ronnie played that.
And did I detect then a little bounce in Ronnie's step as he was coming around the table? Is he starting to fancy this a little bit more than he did coming out? You see Mark? Well, Mark's had a couple of chances and they've gone slightly astray.
$11.
He's overscrewed this a fraction. But he's still okay, he can still in between the 2 reds and have choice of red. The scoreboard tells us there's only 1 point in it. And normally Ronnie's very, very good at this kind of shot. He always makes sure as he gets
90.
high enough on the black to be able to get on the next red. I'm still not convinced he's got his total A game going just yet.
20.
Darren just mentioned a little spring in his step, and I've noticed actually the last few shots he started to speed up round the table down as well. And we were talking, he was at 39 seconds a shot, he's now down to 20. Pot success has gone up a little bit, hasn't it? 0 to 82. And can you believe it? Ronnie just saw a little swerve there. What that body language meant, he put right hand side on it. He didn't mean to, he'd played just a little stun shot, but because he put right hand side on it, it's turned the red over, and you saw the body language there saying, I've just put some side on it, I didn't mean to. Wow, that is a really bad miss. Mark Selby.
What?
I could not believe he'd get another chance in this frame a few seconds ago.
And if Mark Selby does pull this one out of the bag from here now, that's going to hurt Ronnie.
8.
Started to look good. Like we said, he started speeding up, nice bounce in his step. All of a sudden, he sat there now and he's got to ponder that. I won't say easy red, because like we've already said, the corner pockets are no gimmies.
10. $13. $17.
Well, they'd be delighted, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Oh yeah, I'm going to say Mark Selby. Obviously, Ronnie O'Sullivan would be very, very disappointed to have played such a poor shot on the last red. Mark Selby's the delighted one.
22.
Just the pink needed to go into a 2-1 lead, and you can see Ronnie's a little bit disgusted with himself there. So no sizable breaks at all. Ronnie O'Sullivan was definitely strong favourite when he missed that last red. It's cost him the frame. Mark Selby goes into the lead at 2-1.
Well, 2-1 up then to Mark Selby, and he's done well again, taken advantage of another mistake from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Unexpected mistake, I must say. The red into the black pocket was, well, when you expect Ronnie to make 10 out of 10, and you could see his reaction to it. He was very, very disappointed.
Yeah, and I mean, Selby has made a good start. Is he generally a good starter in matches?
No more than any of the other top players, I don't think. It's just that, you know, I wonder during the course of this match if Mark Selby's rhythm and natural speed of play just might upset Ronnie's natural rhythm and his natural speed of play. It's not sort of Ronnie's ideal opponent in Mark Selby, I feel.
And so Mark Selby won't mind at all if the game becomes scrappy and sort of broken up. That would suit him.
I think so, and it'd give him a better chance of winning this match if it's fast and furious and the balls are open and they're there and Mark makes the odd mistake and allows Ronnie in. Then Ronnie O'Sullivan will dictate the pace of the match, and that's exactly what Mark Selby doesn't want.
And Terry O'Sullivan is happiest, I guess, when he can get to the table and sort of make big breaks. I guess like any player, confidence soars at that point, but when it gets broken up, why does that affect him perhaps more than other players?
I think Ronnie, he doesn't like slow players, because it's not his style, but also he doesn't like players who he feels don't play the correct shots. And Selby is a different style of player to Ronnie, and that's Mark's choice, you know, how he plays. He's got up to number one in the world by his style of play, and you can't really criticise for it. But Ronnie is a bit like that. Look, he's like all the players. He wants to have all the limelight himself. He wants all the table time. They're all the same, really.
And when you say the correct shots, do you mean what do you mean by that?
I don't mean he plays too defensively all the time. I just mean the positional shots as well would be a different pattern from Ronnie O'Sullivan. You know, Ronnie would say, well, I love playing Stephen Hendry. He plays all the right shots all the time. And I think Ronnie gets a little bit upset over things like that, but not when he's winning.
Interesting, isn't it, the depth of the tactics in this match? But it's Selby who's got a lead at the moment. He's at 2-1 up as we head into this fourth frame, the last one before the mid-session interval.
I think that was a great point from Terry. I totally agree with him that break builders who, you know, make plenty of centuries, make 147s and that, seem to have a pattern of making breaks. Not all players play in the same pattern. That was an excellent safety shot from O'Sullivan. I think Ronnie sometimes admires the way other people's playing, as long as he's playing well, but something like Mark Selby, who is a great break builder, but doesn't always do it naturally, doesn't go into the pack as early as some players.
Well, this is one option for Mark from this cue ball. Obviously he's got to make sure that he's not short, so he'd be giving a shot to Ronnie on that bottom red just above the black. Found the gap. Nicely played.
Yes, it was very, very close, wasn't it, to leaving that loose red that Darren mentioned. If he caught that slightly thicker, he would have left that pot on, but it just caught it half ball and rocked a couple of inches to the left. And this is actually tough now. Just see if it is. Just caught that full ball rather than half ball. You see how that white just rolled another 2 inches to the left. And Ronnie's actually faced with a situation now where he can't get back into baulk.
I think he's having a good look, Willie, and he was hoping that was going to be a touching ball so as he could have had a straight play away, but I don't think he can get to the one thin enough to send the cue ball right away around, so it's just going to be a little roll in. And it wouldn't surprise me, yeah, and they call it for a re-rack, so this fourth frame has been finished very prematurely, so we're still at 2-1. Terry Camilleri now will just re-rack the balls up and they'll start again. No one really wants to see that little nip and tuck, rolling in, rolling out all the time, so good choice by both players.
Well, Ronnie's just nipped out while the referee, Mr. Camilleri, is setting the balls up again. But we saw a shot of Ronnie in the last frame where he played a good shot to nothing. We also saw him miss a very easy red. I'm just trying to find one of the shots to show you why we've just got a little break in play, and Mark Selby can sit there feeling quite pleased with himself. He's nowhere near his best at the moment and he's leading 2-1, and that's the art of good match play. Obviously if he plays at his best, he'd expect to be leading 2-1, but he's not playing at his best. We saw a shot to nothing that Ronnie played in the previous game. Now the art of a shot to nothing is literally this, that when you play a shot to nothing, you've got to find the top cushion. But Ronnie knows, you can see where the green is now, so Ronnie knows he's got to play it in such a way that if he does happen to get the pot, he's got a chance of getting on the ball. Now, I know he didn't win the frame from here, but just look at the weight of this cue ball here, how it bounced on and off the cushion to leave himself the perfect angle on the green to get onto the two reds. And that's a perfect example of a shot to nothing. So frame 4, take 2. Mark Selby breaks off. And I think he's probably covered the red for the second time. Or has he? It's tight. But he has covered it. Been a lot of break-offs played, and there's always been a first red potable, but since this new cloth's been on, I think every frame this evening we've not seen a long red available from the break-off. This is an excellent safety. Just flick the brown to leave this red on, but I don't think he can play it as a shot to nothing and get back in the balk. Well, that's quite careless from Ronnie. He's left this shot on. Whenever you play safe, you've got to find that top cushion. Hasn't cost him anything though this time.
And he's left Ronnie a little tempter. I think it's near enough straight. This one to the right corner. You can see it's only just off straight. He'll be playing it with lots of bottom. He's had a little look to see if the pink, if he can get the pot and angle to pink in the middle pocket, but I think he'll screw up for the blue. Well, he's hit that dead straight. I mean, that was really bad cueing. And oh, he's not liking that as he's going back to his seat.
Oh, just look at this. Have you ever seen O'Sullivan do that? All I can tell you there is just put right hand side on and just push straight into it. Sorry, left hand side, he was playing the other way around. Left hand side, just push straight into it. So even though we're into the fourth frame, neither player yet has looked like they're going to run away with this match. Might be planning to cut this one in. He was, but didn't hit it very nice. Not far away from being a plant, these. He might take this on. There's actually 3 sets of balls that. One just below the pink, and then there's 2 sets of 2 reds together just to the left of the pink. There may be 3 plants on here. There's another one that's appeared. Let's have a look at that one. Well, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? The one below the pink, but he can't get through to that. So he's got to be careful he doesn't leave that shot on for Ronnie. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where there's been 3 plants. Oh, he's got the plant, does he? Oh, no. I don't think I've seen that situation before. But that excellent safety shot from Mark.
It's got to be right through the gap. And that was a very good shot, other than the red coming down the table, which he couldn't really legislate for that. He's got away with it. Well, the one he's got away with is the red to the left of the yellow. That could have been so much worse.
Just making sure that Tony Camilleri can see where the balls are, just in case Mark plays a thin safety shot and misses it, but I think he'll be playing an attacking safety shot here. I can't see him rolling up to one. May even take the pot on. I don't think I've ever seen these two players play so many strange shots. They're both struggling at the moment. Almost a very, very good safety shot. If it had covered this red up with the yellow, it would have been excellent. Surely he can't get through the gap of the red and the yellow to put the red over the pocket, can he? Looks a bit tight there. The yellow looks in the way. But he can play the pot on the one he can see clearly, the one just up near the yellow. He's just looked at the pot and angle to the middle as well. He's playing it in the middle pocket. Very well played. Just overrun it slightly. Played for blue or pink in the middle. Slightly misjudged the pace, but only a safety shot now. I think the blue's a little too risky. Needs to cover that red on the right-hand side of the table, though. Maybe forced into the pot.
Blue.
Yes, I was just sort of say that, Willie, the way he's looked at it, the pot and angle of it. I think he's going to be going for this one. And he didn't get the blue.
Mark Selby one.
And he has left Ronnie now. Shot at this red. A lot of distance. I mean, the pot's easy enough. It's just he hasn't got many colours to shoot at. Pink's off his spot. Goes in the two middle pockets. And it goes in the pocket he's going to knock this red into. It's definitely not a good scoring opportunity. Not at the minute anyway. Elected to come down with one with both colours. So again, I've put what I like to call the dustbin lid. I mean, he has got other options. He can play to the other side of the table. The red just below the pink will go at the right corner, but this is where you'd fancy him to try and put the cue ball. And as I say that, he's played for the loose one just below the pink to the right corner.
4.
Either way, he was always going to be on a red, but where that circle was, he's got 3 or 4 reds, goes to the left corner.
5.
Yes, every frame has been like this, hasn't it? We've had the black or pink out of play and the players are having to work to get... I'm sure after the interval it'll be a little bit more straightforward. See, the pink will go onto the blue spot, which is no problem. But as soon as possible, to be clearing that pink spot. You see the second red there. There's going to be the key ball to get on, but he can't get onto it for a moment. He may play the cannon on that red now, funny enough. I know that sounds a strange choice of shot, but he's got 3 reds at pot in the left-hand corner. And Ronnie's one of those players that never misses a trick normally. Well, he hasn't played it, but he's still played a little cannon onto a red. That probably leaves that one that's on the pink spot in play. He's always thinking of moving balls about and making the... Now when he gets rid of this red, the pink spot is free again. And similar to the break where he made 80, he now can get the pink back in play.
Just a couple of inches short with the cue ball there. Still no problem. Just see him roll the pink in. And where you see his bridge arm there, that's where he's looking to stop the cue ball. And leave him nicely on this red to left corner. He'd only have to stun it in then. Only downside for Ronnie is a lot further away from this red than he'd have liked. If you got a slight angle, he'll pot this and stun onto the red to the right. Well, he's missed the cannon. He's still on the pink. It's a lot harder now than it would have been. And there he has, he's missed it. So this is not the Ronnie that we've seen all week. Struggling a little.
Well, he never looked in control of the break at all, did he? In the red he missed in the middle, he came right across it again. I mean, it's not through lack of practice, he's obviously in the semi-finals because he's been playing very well. Just seems to have gone into his shell this evening. Really struggling with his cue action.
I think that's the end of break. He's too close to that red to the right. If he tried to play that, he'd be very close to pushing the cue ball. I think it's going to be a good safety. He'd love to get in behind the blue, but I don't think he can go thin enough off this red, so try and get on the bulk cushion in behind the brown and yellow.
Mark Selby, set.
Already can get in behind the blue here by swinging the cue ball around 3 cushions. But he's off the 2, but that's not the best safety shot he's ever played. It might even be an off. The weight was good though.
That was very, very fine. And what a kiss he's had on the yellow. Full ball snooker.
Well, Ronnie will be pretty pleased to see all these reds in a safe position at this end of the table, because if there'd have been an open play, this would have been a real bit of good fortune for Mark, but I don't think he'll be leaving a red on from whatever one he hits here. So even though it was a bit of good fortune from Mark, it never really ever was going to win in the frame. Well, as long as he's not going to push the red over the corner, he'll play the shot I thought Ronnie would have done a little while ago, where he can swing it round and get in behind green and blue. As long as he's not pushing the red over the corner. It's one of those who play with loads of side and try and catch it half ball. That's what he's done. And looking at the cue ball, you see, he's bound to get the good angle there. Amazingly enough, he's gone in between them both.
That's the best run Ronnie's hit for a little while. That was very good cueing.
1.
It's amazing to think that some of the balls he's missed and then to knock one in like that. It's just uncanny, but that's Ronnie's style. This blue he's looking at, I can't believe he was looking at the blue, because that's way thinner than what it looks on your screens at home. There's a power shot on the brown. It was always going to be hard to get on the red. I can't really see what he was playing for there. Unless he was playing it with loads of run inside, hoping to develop the ones near the black spot, but I can't see it. It was the wrong angle.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
I think they'll both be pretty pleased to have the interval. They'll probably both shoot up to the practice room and hit a few balls. Even though they've both had an 80 breaker above in the opening 2 frames, it's not been the snooker we expected this evening.
That's looking a lot better. That's the thing, awful hard shot on these tables because the cloths slide and the cushions, obviously they steel block cushions, so in the club, cue ball comes off very square. Whereas on these tables, the minute that cue ball hits a cush with any kind of side on it, it widens the angle.
Well, he can play a similar shot to Markov, the one just below the pink, but he's not playing that. He is now. Play almost to play the pot, but slightly thicker, and then you'll get the cue ball around the jaws, which is a little bit too thick. And look where the red's gone, that's unlucky.
One.
.22 lead didn't sound very much when Mark came to the table. Where the balls are, that 22-point lead is very big until he gets the black onto its spot.
7. 8. 14.
The two reds that are virtually together on the top cushion are virtually impossible to play from pink to get onto them, so he definitely needs to get the black very shortly.
15.
Well, you're saying that, Willie, and I think he's landed on the perfect angle, yeah, maybe to land on these two reds, and if he can get the left-hand side of the two reds, it'll push the one towards the right corner. Right, the only thing he didn't want to do there was hit that full in the face, and that's what's happened. Like I said, if he could have got the cannon to the left side to these reds,
21.
as you can see with his cue ball, he's hit it full in the face. So barring a great pot, that could be the end of this little effort, but he's right back in this frame now. Only 2 points the difference.
I think he'll take it on, that's for certain. The white ball will be running free. I'm not too sure that he kissed the brown to hold the white at the end of the table, but he'll certainly be taking the pot on.
Mark Selby,
So
21.
Ronnie will be pretty pleased to have got back to the table after that last mistake.
I think Ronnie's just stayed up. I think he might be having a little look at this red, try and chip this in. It's a thin snick. Quite amazing, he's potted another great red. That was just absolutely terrific. Played that with loads of bottom and right hand side as well to swing the cue ball around. And that looks just about perfect.
Well, that's as good a shot as he played this evening. He had to get the pace right that time. This is the problem, red. It makes the other two reds available. Just look at the gap he's got and the pace he had to play just to drop on this red. If he was naturally going around the back of the black, he would play it plain ball, but I don't think that's on, so he's going to stun it in.
5.
And that's another excellent shot. Oh, 2 reds, 2 colours. Ronnie will be the more delighted of the two players to get out of here 2 each. Because he's missed more balls in this match so far. He's missed for the whole tournament. So he's 15 points in front. Red colour, red needed, and that's an excellent positional shot. And look at the scoreboard, he knows he only needs a colour off this red.
20.
So very workmanlike this evening from Ronnie and Mark. As I mentioned a few moments ago, the interval is going to come at the right time.
96.
I don't think there'll be any heroics on this yellow to green unless he can screw back off the top cushion.
28.
30 points in it. Mark Selby, you know, is going to carry on if Ronnie doesn't pot this green.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Barring
28.
snookers, it'll be Ronnie that levels up to all. What an effort this is. He does know his way around a snooker table, Mark Selby. That was a beautiful shot. He had to play a stun run through off a half ball green there.
And that's a very well played. He knows his way around the table as well, because that was a great get out. And if he had missed that yellow that he potted was also important, because it meant Mark needs 2 snookers instead of 1. And this is looking okay unless he gets a big bounce, and I think he has. It's just slid past the black. Trouble is, Willie, I know it's 2 snookers, but both players, you know, same as John Higgins, they're more than capable of running 5 or 6 brilliant shots on the trot to get their 4-point penalties. against a lesser player, you'd feel you've won the frame, but against these, it's never over until you've potted the ball that you really need to make it more than safe.
Yeah, miss-hit that Mark Selby in that attempt at a snooker. He was actually playing to screw the cue ball in behind the blue. So funny. Spots the green. I'm sure we'll be going to the interval very, very shortly. Unless he goes in half, how careless is this? Wow, you could see Ronnie there. He just didn't judge it at all, that shot. He wasn't expecting the cue ball to be anywhere near there.
Three on the frame.
Well, Mark Selby will be delighted with. I suppose both players will think, well, I could have lost that session 4-0, but they haven't. They've shared it at 2 each.
So I guess not a classic start to this match, but at least it's still all to play for. 2 frames apiece at the mid-session interval. Dominic, why do you think it's been so scrappy?
I don't really know. I think it's just the contrast of styles and maybe a few missed pots early on, and the colours or reds have gone safe, or both. And I think both of these players are as surprised as we are that it's just worked out this way, but 2-2, all to play for.
And does that mean the interval has come at a good time for both players, and hopefully it might be a little bit more flowing in the second half of the match?
I think it'll get better after the interval. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronnie had come out with a new tip, because he keeps looking at it all the time out there. It's not unlike Ronnie to put a new tip on in the interval. He can do that and still go out and play superbly.
Well, more snooker to come in a few minutes' time, but I'm just going to update you now on what's been happening at this evening's World Cup track cycling at the Olympic Velodrome in London. Well, this is a really important event, not only for the Olympic organisers who see this as a test event for the London Games, but also for many of the cyclists who are hoping to repeat the success in London that Team GB had in Beijing, where they won an absolute hatful of medals, you'll remember, 4 years ago. Well, in a moment, we're going to see some really big finals involving first Sir Chris Hoy, that's in the men's Kirin final, and also Joanna Rousel in the women's individual pursuit. But first, we've got a race to show you. This involves Victoria Pendleton, another gold medalist in Beijing, and she goes in the semi-final of the women's sprint.
The green markers tell you the situation. Anna Mears, the current world champion, won race 1. Victoria Pendleton, in determined mood, squared the issue by taking race 2. It went to a photo, it was close, but Victoria Pendleton has got the race face on here, and I tell you what, she would dearly love to win this and go through to the final. It's going to be a real nail-biter. The adrenaline rush is about to begin. Mears leading off. Now then, Chris, what are the tactics going to be here?
Well, Victoria Pendleton, she's actually got the front position, hasn't she? And I think she's going to try and keep it. It worked well for her before. She forced Mears to wait and wait and wait, and she launched an attack, panicking, trying to get the front, and that gave her the opportunity to use her slipstream to run up and accelerate out of that final bend.
Over the years, I've always actually said Victoria Pendleton is more the pure sprinter. Anna Mears is a 500-metre time trial specialist who has held the world record. But the thing is, once she gets the head of the race, a bit like Chris Hoy, and gets the hammer down, it's very hard to get round her.
Yeah, I think we saw in round 1 there that a jump has improved. You know, a jump has definitely improved. She's probably recognised that as a weakness and worked on it. Victoria Pendleton is a much lighter rider and can accelerate quickly. She's sharp, she's really nippy.
And she loves a wheel to aim at. Well, these are the prelims of the sprint. If you haven't seen sprinting before, it's all about trying to outwit your opponent. When you feel you have got the right position, then that is the time to fully commit yourself. 1.5 laps to go. Pendleton still looking back for a strike from Mears. Mears just stalking her very, very close. It's going to be the bell this time. A place at stake in the final for the winner of this race, race 3 of the women's sprint semi-final. Pendleton at the front. Mears look for the gap underneath. And Mears with a very good tactical move there has now put Pendleton on the back foot, and I tell you what, the Australian is beginning to turn the throttle, and Pendleton won't get up to her, and Mears wins through 2-1 into the final. Now then, Chris, was that a tactical error?
Well, I'm not sure actually, because she did come off the track to come underneath. Now I didn't see any of the judges reacting to that, but she actually came off the track there and I'm not sure that's going to
stand. Well, Pendleton was actually looking or pointing then, but they weren't inside the sprinters line at the time. That's what I've been waiting to see. There's been a lot of aggravation between these two, and it came early on in a Keirin race when Mears took the line away. Let's have a look at this. What do you think?
Well, it's right on the sprinters line. He actually overtook just on the sprinters line off the track. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. The result has actually already been given to Mears.
It has.
So we'll have to see if that stands.
Well, let's just get back to that point. As I say, there's been quite a lot of, acrimony between these two. It happened in a Keirin race when Mears took the line away from Pendleton and nearly upended her. She did manage to stay upright, but I was very pleased to see that. They sportingly acknowledged each other's skills.
I think you've got to at least say it was an incredibly gutsy move. And these women are travelling at nearly 65 kilometres an hour, and they've got space of maybe 3 or 4 centimetres to manoeuvre. We saw what happened to Matt Crampton when he rode off the track, so that was a courageous thing to do.
I think what he did, it epitomised the sheer bravery and courage of Mears. Here's another chance to look at it. It's just where the bank, it is very steep. I just thought Pendleton took her eye off the ball for a moment. The gap was there. Don't give the world champion a second chance like that, and she profited from it. And they sportingly acknowledge each other's ability. So the situation is Victoria Pendleton will ride for bronze, and the world champion Anna Mears will race against Gao Shuang of China in the final. There's composition of the lineup. Mikhail Bourgain, I was really impressed with him. He flew off the front, leaving the rest behind in his heat.
He was very, very, very strong. Serious acceleration. Now, nobody could even stay with his wheel, but we saw the same thing in Chris Hoy's heat as he got into this. That's 2 lengths ahead of the others. Nobody can even stay with the pace.
And Rennie Enders, look at this fella, the size of his legs. This is the man that's the fastest man on the planet for the opening lap in the team sprint. 17.09 he goes. That's why Germany are now the world champions. So there they are on the line waiting for the action. Let me just run through the lineup for you. It's the representative from Japan there. That was Watanabe. That's Mulder of the Netherlands, former world champion. There's Sir Chris Hoy, been the world champion, is the current Olympic champion. On the inside is Rennie Enders. A very, very juicy lineup here. There should be some fireworks in this one. So from the inside, Enders, then Hoy, then Mulder, then Watanabe, then Bourgain, and then right on the outside for New Zealand, the big fella Simon van Velterhoeven. Some lineup this.
Well, it is Chris Hoy there, deciding not to try and get on the motorbike. Happy to let the riders pass. In 4th position, so we're seeing a change in style here.
I'm glad you said that, Chris. I'm pleased to see that because his tactic was so readable before.
Well, you have the length and the legs to actually just dictate. It's an hard tactic to beat when you actually manage to make it work, to sit on the front and keep accelerating and no one can come around. But right now, it's trying a wholly different approach.
That was all down to his awesome power, being a kilometre rider, wasn't he? He hit the front with 2 to go. He'd be on maximum speed, and as you say, if you take a look to come past, the wind would blow you back, so he couldn't do it.
It's on the Frenchman's wheel, Bourgain. He rode through with such style. It's the right wheel to be on for sure, I think.
So, right behind, no change. Velterhoeven sitting there from New Zealand, Oceanic champion. Then Enders sitting 2nd wheel, such a powerful, chunky rider. And then Bourgain, who had so much speed to spare when he won his heat. And Chris Hoy is drilling the back here of Bourgain. His eyes are piercing the back of the Frenchman.
Enders, as you've already mentioned, not always the best in the Keirin discipline. Powerful starter for the team sprint, but he's held his own to get into this final. Can be a little bit creative in his style as well, so we'll have to watch out for that.
Chef for Mulder as well, the Dutchman, who's just last but one at the moment in the mix as they go down the back straight. Mulder, world champion, LA 2005, also been a world kilometre champion. Very, very quick indeed. Now then, we're going to lose that little dirty pacing bike in the back straight this time. The Kiwi just dangling off the front. Looks as though he's going to get himself involved in going for a long one. Yes, he is. And Enders responds. Chris Hoy sees the danger and gets into the wheel of Bourgain. Coming up to the line with 2 laps to go. It's now the leader from Velhoeven on New Zealand. Enders has got away with it, and so has Bourgain. They're leaving themselves a little bit of work to do here. And Bourgain is bringing Hoy up, and Hoy could profit from the work being done by the Frenchman. Here goes Enders. Enders, the man with dynamite in his size, almost bumps into Velhoeven. And now, off the ground of the bend, here comes Chris Hoy, and the crowd are lifting Hoy down the outside. Who's going to get it on the line? Oh, I think Hoy got it. Looked like Hoy got it. It was so close. The big clenched fist comes out for Chris Hoy, the real McCoy. The Scot delivered in style, right on the line. I think he denied Enders with the lunge for the line, Chris.
Well, I thought his status was actually going to get the better of him there, because Bourgain was ignoring everybody else and waiting for Chris Hoy. He desperately wanted him to come round and lead him onto the wheel, but he didn't fall into the trap, and the Frenchman let him out.
What a final that was. Chris Hoy celebrates. There's his father. He had that banner with him in Beijing. That's the lucky banner. Let's get a look here now. Hopefully at the closing stages of that, Chris, but it was a blanket finish on the line. Here we are. The New Zealander let it out. Enders was with him, and it left the Frenchman Bourgain with all the work to do.
Incredible. We've just seen the shot there. We started on the back straight. The distance that was still left to make up. I was a bit worried when they came into the final bend, because Chris Hoy is having to go round 3 other riders. That is a long way to come around. But he had the confidence to do it, clearly. He knew that he had the power to get around, but it was very, very close on the line.
Here we are. Let's have a look at the side view. Oh, yes, he got it easily in the end, didn't he? Enders second and Bourgain third. Only one man missing, really, that could have caused any problems, and that is Perkins of Australia, the current world champion, but the rest are here.
Well, it was a classy field, and he rode it in a completely different way to the style he's renowned for, all the way from the back. It just shows that he can do it in any which way that he wants.
Awesome power then for Chris Hoy. Hugely impressive display there. He's just sent a message to the rest, and I tell you what, it's a message of seismic proportions. If you want to win the gold medal here in the summer, I'm the man to beat. Celebrations unfurling in the middle. Shane Sutton giving him a cuddle. So was Ian Dyer, the sprint coach. Lots of smiles. Doesn't even look as though he's out of breath. I tell you what, this man is astonishing. He's like a good bottle of quality wine. He gets better and better as he gets older. Chris Hoy then delivers, and the crowd absolutely loved it. Let me repeat the result once again for you. The gold medal goes to Chris Hoy. That's his 51st medal in World Cup competition. That is amazing. Freddie Enders second, Michael Bourgain third. Well, we knew it was going to be some race, and I tell you what, it certainly didn't disappoint. A fantastic men's keirin final. We waited for it, and it was well worth waiting for. Absolutely astonishing. Now stand by for the roar. It's going to resonate around the arena, and I tell you what, it could blow the roof off here. The winner of the keirin, the gold medal. It's his 33rd World Cup gold medal, and it's going to go to the reigning Olympic champion, Sir Chris Hoy. And just listen to that. This is a dress rehearsal then for the summer. There's the Hoy family. They love it. Such a sporting gentleman, Chris Hoy. He personifies pure sportsmanship. He pulls on that jersey that tells us he is the overall World Cup winner. Gold medal, as I say, number 33 World Cup competition for Sir Chris Hoy. So we're ready to start the women's individual pursuit. Away we go. Rousel on the left of our screen, and on the right is Alison Shanks. I can tell you we've already had the contest for the bronze medal, and it was Amy Kure of Australia that got the better of Sarja Kaita of Lithuania. Now then, who is going to join Kure on the podium for the gold and silver? Rousel is the current national champion for Great Britain, and of course she is the lady that starts the team pursuit for Great Britain, and she was the starter when they established that world record just a day ago. Paul Manning is the coach trackside, who is an Olympic champion for the team pursuit. And look at the start here already. This is very impressive then by Rousel. The 23-year-old has really blazed their way into the front already. It's a cracking start here then by the 23-year-old. Well, now then, could she put the British record under pressure? 3:27.7 by Rebecca Romero is the British record, the 8th fastest time ever, that is, set in Beijing. But at the moment, Shanks, who doesn't go away particularly quick at the start, is not panicking here by the fast start of Rousel. Rousel coming up to line 1:12, and it's 1.2 seconds at the moment, the advantage that Joanna Rousel holds. Now then, can she back this up over the next 2 kilometres? She was 4th in the World Championships actually in 2009 in Pruszków in Poland. Was Rousel. Let's have a look how she's doing. Well, it's gone up a tad more. It's 1.3 now. So Rousel really has got the bit between her teeth, and obviously she's inspired by the fact that she's got a gold medal already in her pocket from that Team Pursuit performance the other day. Going really well, holding the good line. But it's starting to come down. This is a classic ride by Alison Shanks. It's only just over a second now. So Rousel is going to have to dig deep. Has she given too much in the early stages? Alison Shanks at her supreme best will take some toppling, but the crowd are trying to lift Rousel. It's inside a second now. 0.6 is the difference. So, has Rousel gone away too early in this encounter of the individual pursuit? Alison Shanks, the Kiwi, is really starting to get the bit between her teeth now. It's 0.5 of a second, and we've got 1 kilometre to sort this out. Well, it's going to go right down to the wire, and the crowd are trying to lift Rousel, who's digging deep, and all over her face the pain is beginning to reflect. Shanks coming back into the straight where she started from, then up to the line, and it's 0.4. Well, it is doable.
It stayed at 0.4 for the last lap. It's going to be so close, this race. It's going to come down to passion. Who wants it the most? It's actually got out another 10th. Well, Jo Rousel putting in a fantastic finish here.
Well, this is a meritorious performance by Rousel. It's gone to 0.6, so Joanna Rousel has got some extra strength here, and she's beginning to deliver it. And Paul Mann in the coach, trackside, is indicating as she comes into the finishing straight now that she can do it. It's the bell, 1 lap to go, and the lead has gone out to 0.7. Rousel, fully inspired here, is really igniting the burners. She is going to put Shanks to the sword, and she's certainly doing it. She's gaining all the time. Here she comes. This is a glittering performance then. Golden goal performance by Joanna Rousel, who takes the individual pursuit contest. Her winning time, 3:32.364. Shanks gets silver, 3:33.406. I tell you what, Chris, there should be 2 gold medals there, 1 for winning and 1 for supreme courage.
It was a great race, that, wasn't it? They are good when they're close. Not nice to ride, but great to watch. Jo Rousel, absolutely on fire.
So that win, testimony then to the superb form that Rousel has got, and her speed from the gate reflected, because she is the start rider in the Team Pursuit as well. So I know her teammate Danny King, who's up in the commentary box, will be delighted with that. So the winner of the individual pursuit is Joanna Rousel of Great Britain.
Well, that bodes really well for the Olympics, doesn't it? Absolutely fantastic stuff from Joanna Rousel. And don't forget that tomorrow we'll also be able to see Wales's Geraint Thomas competing in the Team Pursuit event. That really will be one to look forward to. OK, let's return you to the snooker now, and the players will only a few minutes away now from coming back out to resume this semi-final match here at the Welsh Open. It's 2-2 between Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan, and before the players head back out into the arena here at the Newport Centre, one of our experts, Dominic Dale, has been analysing the cue actions of both players. Dom, what have you got for us?
Yes, thank you, Ashley. I'm just going to explain the fundamental differences in the way these 2 players, Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan, strike the cue ball. Mark Selby, who I'll start with first, actually lifts the back of the cue as he strikes through the ball. I'll give you an example of what I mean just here. OK. That's Mark Selby for you. You'll notice I lifted the back of my cue there as I went through the ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan does something slightly different. He lowers his back arm as he comes through the shot and back through the ball to actually deliver the cue. I'll give you an idea of Ronnie O'Sullivan's cue action, and it's a lot more fluent, I'll have you know as well. And that's Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's more fluent and the cue plane is much flatter than Mark Selby's is. Ashley, back to you.
Dominic, thanks very much. Well, Terry, two different styles, but at the moment they're very well matched in this game, two apiece. How important would you say that the fifth frame is going to be in terms of setting the tone for the rest of the match?
Well, it always is important. Every frame is important, but I thought the fourth frame was very important for O'Sullivan too. He looked a bit rattled. I think if he'd have gone 3-1 down, I think he was in trouble.
Well, it's all to play for. It's 2-2 in this semi-final here at the Newport Centre. Mark Selby against Ronnie O'Sullivan, both trying to reach the final where they'll want to play Ding Junhui tomorrow. But at this stage, it's anyone's guess which way this match is going to go. To resume commentary, it's Darren Morgan and Willie Thorne.
Well, thank you very much, Ashley. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you all enjoyed your cup of tea while the interval's just been on. And Ronnie was very relaxed, actually, in the interval. He just put his coat on and went outside for a breath of fresh air and ate a couple of bananas, funnily enough, just to probably needs a little bit of slow burning energy, and that's what he needed. Just to, probably felt a bit lacklustre out there. Hopefully that's given him the boost he needs. Mark Selby, I'm sure, spent the time in the practice room. He'd love to take this one on, but obviously if he does, he'll have to screw back into baulk. He can't afford just to leave the cue ball where the red is, because the two reds to the right of the pink. Digging down on it makes this obviously very, very missable. Oh, wow. Well, you deserve whatever you get from there, my friend. That was excellent. However many you score off that shot, you deserve it. Brilliant shot.
Could have done with a couple of inches more with the cue ball there. He's still okay. If this black does pass into the left corner, he could have done with being dead straight on this red.
Six.
Obviously, he can get to it to the right corner, so that's a bonus. He has got a pink as well. Get a bit carried away. Didn't think that black could go, and there we can see it can, so he's played for the pink. Well, surprising, as I was just about to say as well, how the players of today leave themselves a long way behind these pinks into the middle pockets, and they make them look so easy. It always used to be, you were never comfortable on a middle pocket unless you was like a foot behind the object ball or the colour you was going for. You'd be very disappointed, especially after the long red, like Willie said, he knocked in, he deserved to score a few from there.
One.
Purposely left himself low just to flick the red away from the black spot area. Within like one shot, he's now got the balls at his mercy, but that's not played that very well. The red's in the way to play the run through. Don't know whether he's going to try and get through the gap of the red and black to get onto it. Yes, he has.
9.
Good recovery.
$16. $70. $24. $25.
Well, I was just about to say he's in real full flow this time, and he's just over it. The cue ball on that one. You can see the disappointment on Ronnie's face. All that's left now is a safety. He had a big area to play for there as well. This table's definitely found them out this evening. He didn't play for that red to go all the way down towards the bulk area.
Yes, this is the poor shot. As you can see, he needed the cue ball to stop about there, but it just travelled another 6 inches. And because of his frustration, he actually half-played the plant then and screwed into baulk. But as Darren mentioned, he didn't expect the red to come back up the table. Went all out for the pot, but the red's gone onto the pink spot, and that makes it potable in the right-hand corner. We'll take it on. Well, both those reds are available. We play the top one because you can avoid the pack. You can't avoid the pack off the second one. No, just not queuing well at the moment, Ronnie.
And he's played immaculate snooker this week. In all of his matches, he's been absolutely scintillating. Very strange.
You'd have to suggest of the 4 semi-finalists, Ronnie's certainly been the better of the 4, and he would have gone into this semi-final favourite to win the match, favourite to win the tournament, but I'm not so sure now.
Oh, and obviously he has a long ways first to 6, so it's 2 each. Funny enough, they now actually play in a best of 7, which they played for the first 3 rounds of this week's Welsh Open. So they're back to that format. And again, he's potting great balls, but he's just not making anything from them. That was again a lovely pot. Very thin, controlled the cue ball very nicely. That's not too bad. Just having a little look. Pink doesn't go on its own spot, so he's having a little look if it goes onto the black. Ronnie doesn't want it on the black spot, obviously. He wants to see it go to the blue. Unfortunate for Ronnie. It goes on. I think he can still get the pot and angle, so it's all about the next shot and the cannon.
Not a certainty. He'd probably play this a little bit firmer than he would do normally, just to try and free the pink and the black, which he has done. Play that a bit slower. They might have stayed pretty much together, but he's played it so well that both have gone into open play. You just get the feeling if Ronnie finds himself 3-2 in front after this frame, he'll wonder how he's done it.
15.
And he may get a bit of confidence going. Mark Selby's just been hanging on to his coattails. Both players yet to strike top form.
$16.
Well, he'll certainly play the cannon into the cluster there. There's the middle of the three reds are nearest the pink. There's a little gap there to go right into the middle of them. If you can get that red there. Just caught the other one first, but I still think he has a pot on in either middle pocket. Wanted that gap. He just caught the red first before he got the gap. He's still okay. If this goes in, he should win the frame. Honestly, I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe what I'm seeing at the moment. Whenever he puts right-hand side on, he must be gripping the cue too tight because he's pushing into it. And you can see every time he's hitting the shot thick. Every single one hitting it thick. And now, okay, Selby's 48 behind. Amazingly enough, he's just gone favourite to win this frame. Because the reds are no problem. The blue is the only problem.
Mark Selby's on a little laugh. Someone coughed or sneezed in the crowd. So he's just on a little laugh of the crowd just to relax himself and compose himself.
9.
I know he already had one sickener of a frame, which was the third one. He looked like he was going to go 2-1 up, and he went 2-1 behind.
17.
And all of a sudden, it looked like he was going to go 3-2 up in this one, and he's given Mark Selby this unbelievable chance in pinching another frame. I mean, other than the blue, you would have to say there's no real awkward
24.
balls. Still 24 behind, so 3 reds and 3 blacks, or 3 reds and a couple of pinks. You'd be right back in it.
This is one of those situations where the player wouldn't add the points up at this stage, but if he took blacks with these 2 reds, he'd only need the blue, he wouldn't need to play the pink. Now he's just having a little look now, he's probably going to work it out. He's 16 points behind, so 2 reds, 2 blacks gets him level. Up to a blue puts him 14 in front on the pink. Now if he takes any other colour than 2 blacks, he'll need to go from blue to pink, which is obviously a big problem. He's probably realised that now. Has he gone high enough to get on the black?
40.
He's just having another look at the score, but he knows he's made a mistake there. He doesn't really want to have to play the blue when he gets there and having to get on the pink because it's a tough shot.
Yes, does he play this red with run inside, which is an hard shot, but it guarantees him on the black? Or he's going to have to play the hard blue in clearing up, so he has got choices, but both shots are going to be difficult. He's played it with a run inside, needs the cue ball to slow down a little bit. That was a very, very well played and controlled shot. Little angle on this black, so he's going to have to force the cue ball. And that's very good.
Excuse me, there's a good example of how important it is to just look at the scores. He knows now if he gets to the position where he gets on the brown, he'll just leave the white tight on the top cushion and just roll the blue in. You could have easily cleared those balls up and not really looked at the scoreboard and then found yourself you need the pink. So very good thinking from Mark Selby.
50. $53.
That was the only problem with that. He wasn't happy with the shot from yellow to green. He landed slightly on the wrong side. He could have played the cannon into the brown. Elected to try and do a deep screw and hold the cue ball. He's just lost it a little bit, so he's on the wrong side of this brown. He can play up and down the table. Big shot. A lot of bays to cover. 10 foot the one way, 12 foot the other. I mean, he might just pot the brown and then try and drop the blue in.
If he does play to leave, just to drop the blue in, he'll be playing to get the white in behind the black, just in case. Because he'll be playing with a lot of run inside to help the pot. Be interesting to see how he plays this. Well, he decided to not play the stun and he's probably playing all around the table. Now just keep an eye on the white here. He's going to play the pot and he'll play 2 cushions white in behind the black, just in case he misses the blue. Because he knows the blue's got every chance of sticking on the table, sticking on the pocket I should say. Now if it wasn't frame ball he wouldn't even play the pot, but the fact that it's frame ball, there's plenty of mileage in playing this. Just coming to have a look at the potting angle again, so loads of right hand side. Well, he doesn't like it, does he? May not play it now.
Yes, he's having a good look at the angle, but I can assure you it hasn't changed from the last time he looked. Big shot. And he's a long way off, but like Willie said, he's played a good cue ball. He's played to get it somewhere near the black. There's a lot of value in going for that. I mean, Ronnie will be relieved he's still in this frame now. Again, not the best shot Ronnie's ever played, unless he has a bit of luck. I think he's just handed this frame to Mark Selby on a plate. He's not with it at the moment.
Yes, it's really hard to comprehend, isn't it? What's gone wrong within 24 hours of Ronnie O'Sullivan playing a match. Once again, it is a very relieved Mark Selby playing at the standard he's not used to playing and still finding himself in front. So another very scrappy frame. Selby made a break of 57, which in the end was enough to take the frame. He now goes into the lead at 3-2.
Well, what on earth has happened here, Terry? We've had Ronnie O'Sullivan up in the studio, I think, 3 times this week. He's been relaxed, he's been confident, feeling like he's playing good snooker. And all of a sudden, that seems to have changed. What do you think's happened?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, we've talked about that he doesn't like playing against Mark Selby, but I don't think it's all about that. I think the table's been a little inconsistent tonight. But you can see the shots, and that was a very important frame because it looked as if Ronnie was going to win it, and Selby's come back in the end and nicked it on the blue there. But I mean, Ronnie's safety in the blue was pretty poor there. He just totally mistimed hitting the ball, and that's what's been happening so far with him tonight.
And when it's got scrappy, Mark Selby's come out well out of those exchanges.
Yes, but I mean, Ronnie does have himself to blame there. He was the one in control of that frame until he missed that easy red into the left centre that has really alluded to the fact that every time he plays a shot with a little bit of right-hand side on the ball, he's hitting them thick and missing the pots and messing his safety shots up the same way as well. And same with the blue. I mean, that was a shot with right-hand side. Hit it too thick again. Don't know whether he's happy or not with his tip, whether he changed it or not at the interval, I don't know. But he's going to have to start playing better, otherwise, you know, he's going to find it difficult to win this match now.
I can tell you, Dominic, he didn't change it at the interval, but he was looking at it a little bit. But his tip looks absolutely perfect, that's Jesus. I mentioned at the beginning of the tournament, actually, he felt he could only get away with just playing this tournament with the tip, and then he'd have to change it. But the first 2 or 3 matches he played, he was in super form.
Well, that again was a strange executed shot by Mark Selby. Double kiss. So another chance for Ronnie to get going.
This just be like O'Sullivan to make a very, very sizable break here. Until that shot. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Once again, played that with a little bit of right-hand side. You can tell that the way it's come off the cushion. Going through a few mind problems at the moment, getting very frustrated with himself.
Fouls. Ronnie O'Sullivan 8. Mark Selby 4. Go on.
There's a very nice pot on the red. He's low on this black, so a little bit thinner. He'll be trying to cannon into the red, just above, below the cluster of the pink. That's okay. If he can get on the one to the left corner, it'll be a big bonus for him. If not, he's got a couple of options. One to yellow corner. And if he's near enough dead straight, it'll just be a little drag back. And I think he's playing it with top. Stayed down there, made sure.
Well.
Doesn't have the absolute perfect angle on this red to get around the back of the black. May have to play a little stun shot just to widen the angle a little bit.
That's worked out perfect. I might see a bit of value here. Playing off this black into the reds just above the pink. And he selected to play for the loose red. He's made sure this time he's the right side of the blue. I don't think there's anything goes unless this one to the outside that he's looking now of the two. Slide into this left corner pocket. Well, it didn't go, so he's tried to develop some. And he is on the red to right corner, so all of a sudden now, so he didn't want it, the other three reds, because nothing would have come out there. The white would have just trapped and stuck on the top of the red. So this is now turning into a very good opportunity.
33.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of blues to play, and you can only get onto the one loose red there. Just about come far enough now to get to the bottom red of those three will pot, to the one next to the pink
30.
possibly pots as well.
The
lead goes to 35, the pink 41, so we need 4 more of these reds, and they're not in great position. Well, that's amazing. You cannot believe how much side he got on that to make the white completely change course. He's played to arc into the 3 reds that are above the the black. The ones 3 in a line, they're the ones he's played. We'll have to have a little look at that again in a minute, because I just can't believe how much action he got on that.
45.
He's playing to cannon into the 3 reds that are in a straight line. He's got that much side on it. Suddenly took hold of the cloth and suddenly went sideways. Amazing. Just watch the white there, look. Incredible. So the break comes to a premature end at 45. Ronnie O'Sullivan still in this frame.
As long as Mark Selby can't get this red to right corner, that was a much better safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. We can see it's tight. I think he can just about get through to that red. It is very tight. We've got another bit of ticker tape dropping down, and Mark, as he's doing his Zorro impression, and he's still going. I think it's just about landed. And obviously he didn't feel he could get through to enough of that red, but he's played a very good safety. Put it down without the little flick on the brown, because I think then he'd have been behind the green, not back bolt cushion. Oh, what a fantastic pot. You can't pot the black. What a great pot that was. In all kinds of trouble there.
And how unlucky he is to not, in potting that red, knock another red in front of the black. Because pink out of commission at the moment, he really needed that red in play. But an excellent pot.
Seven.
So we're going to see the rocket blast off. We've been waiting for it. It's been very subdued so far this evening.
12.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that he can get on the red next to the black at any stage without playing a cannon. He can certainly get on that red into the middle pocket, so the next 3 reds, 3 colours are no problem, but ideally he'd like to get in a position where he can bring that into play. There you can see the virtually touching, but there's enough room to drop behind it at some stage.
90.
But ideally he'd like to play a cannon at some stage.
Yes, well, he's played these last couple of shots much more positively. Looks like he's got through the cue ball a lot more crisp at it.
24.
So if he's finally finding his touch.
I think you mentioned earlier on in the second frame where he suddenly had that little bit of bounce about him, what we used to see when Ronnie O'Sullivan plays, when he's playing good. He'll play the cannon now, he'll play 2 cushions and try. It doesn't matter what he hits here, either the red or the black, it doesn't really matter. Well, he's played for the loose one, I'm surprised. That was a perfect angle to screw around 2 cushions there to bring either the red or the black. Let's see if he plays exactly the same way here. Gets high on the blue again.
31.
Got to be very careful if he cues down that the blue doesn't bounce and come out of the pocket, because he's going to have to hit this hard. Got a lot of angle on that from virtually a straight blue. This is not an easy safety shot. The only place on the table where it's difficult to play safe from. Could play very, very thin. Play the kill on the black and send the white into the balk area, but he's going to miss the blue if he does that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 36.
Well, very rare you see a player play a double, but I think this is in a position where he can play the double as a shot to nothing. Knowing that if he did get the double, he'd be in behind the black as well, but I don't judge that right. Sullivan trails by 5 points.
That was a very good shot. A very good cue ball. There was always a chance that he could have caught that red much too thin and cannoned the pink ball, but that's a better shot from Ronnie. He didn't really want the cue ball to bounce, so Mark will have a go at this into left corner. Just got to make sure he misses the cannon on the black. Again, Willie's already said about the shot to nothing. He can play this as that. Just needs it to be nice. If he gets a full ball count on the green, it's going to help him.
One.
And that's not bad. A little bit thinner than he'd have liked. He can either play the real delicate screw shot, or he can come around off 3 cushions. There is value in playing the little delicate screw shot, because if he misses it, the green will stay in the corner pocket. So he's played, but the green's gone in.
4.
This is worrying times for Ronnie O'Sullivan. It'll be the first time we could see him going 2 frames behind.
The difference, of course, with these two players, I mean, Mark Selby doesn't worry if he's not playing at his best. He still finds that a challenge to win a frame not playing good. Whereas Ronnie O'Sullivan, I'm not sure, can be in love with the game when he's not playing well. And Mark Selby's just battling out there. Okay, Mark Selby's not playing well, but he's got every chance now of going 4-2 in front. And that's just the difference. You've got to try and win scrappy frames, win when you're playing bad. Everybody can win when they're playing well. Can you win when you're playing bad? Mark Selby's doing that.
13.
Well, once again, not the prettiest of frames, but Mark Selby dug very deep there. He gave O'Sullivan a chance. He started with 45, missed. O'Sullivan replied with 36. Selby gets the 24 break to lead 4-2.
Well, Selby doubled his advantage, now 4-2 up, and we keep thinking here that we're about to see Ronnie O'Sullivan burst into life, and he gets started on a break, and even the commentary team think, well, here we go, this is the Ronnie O'Sullivan that we know and love, and then again it's breaking down, Dominic.
Yes, he is, but this match is just perfect now for Mark Selby. The frames are very sort of close, the balls are going awkwardly and everything, and that's just what Mark Selby wants. It's just stifling Ronnie O'Sullivan's break building prowess, and If I was Ronnie O'Sullivan now, I'd be playing a few thick safeties, get those reds out in the open, you know, ready for break building, and that might just take Mark Selby out of his comfort zone.
Well, we've asked you as well for some questions to put to our panel of experts, and you've been very busy on Twitter. We've got another really interesting question here. This is from Michael Mabbott. Incidentally, he sent it to @BBC Snooker, by the way, is what we are on Twitter. And his question, a very interesting one, and I'll put this to Terry. Do you think there'll be another Henry Davis era, or is snooker too competitive for that to happen again? What do you think?
No, it's very much too competitive. I don't think we're going to see that. Not at the moment, but who knows what's going to happen, like with Judd Trump, for instance. What's he going to do in the next few years? Perhaps he'll become dominant. He's the first player that's come along that could do it, but because of his style of play, you feel that perhaps he won't dominate like for a decade, like Henry and Davis. There's just too many good players out there.
And so you think it's unlikely that someone would ever put together a run of, say, World Championship victories again, just because these days you've got to get so far out in front and the standard is generally much higher?
Well, it's not that. Davis and Henry just totally dominated. I mean, they were winning practically all of the tournaments.
Were they loads better, or was everyone else, was the general standard just much lower?
No, they were better than the other players, and of course they get better because they're winning more confidence. The other players are not winning, but I mean, yes, they were better, it's fair to say, for them both. I mean, they were both great champions, and I can't see it happening again because now there's so many young players coming into the game that's so good that it'll be hard to dominate.
Well, we were talking, it's a very interesting era. We were talking about Mark Selby, and of course he's the world's #1 ranked player, but you'd have difficulty saying that he was the best player in the world.
Well, he's the best player in the world at the moment because he's won more ranking points than anybody else. So he's working the system, and he's rightly #1 in the world. But if you think if you're going to ask me, he's the best player in the world, you can't say at the moment because he hasn't won enough tournaments. He hasn't won the World Championship. So I'm not saying he can't become the best player, but I wouldn't say he's the best at the moment.
Well, he's certainly looking good at the moment to get to the final of this particular championship. He's at 4-2 up, and the 7th frame is now underway.
Yes, interesting comments that from Terry, and I agree with him. I think he's certainly a top 4 player without any stretch of the imagination. But you know, he's learned how to win ugly. I'm not too sure Ronnie O'Sullivan has learned how to win ugly. We all know that Ronnie can be the best in the world when he's flowing and potting everything in sight. But now and again you have matches like this where things are not going right. You can't get in the balls. Every time you get in the balls, things are awkward. Steve Davis was a master at that. I just can't believe how within 24 hours he can suddenly be playing not well. All week he's been hitting the ball beautifully.
Yes, I couldn't agree with him more, Willie. What's happening at the moment, the pattern of it, he wants that cue ball to slow down, others will be in the middle pocket. Just about. Mark's giving Ronnie the chance, Ronnie's missing, and then handing it straight back to Mark, so it's an unusual situation at the moment. But again, he missed that blue because he was trying to play with a little bit of power, and to be fair, he's been very fortunate that he got the double kiss off the blue. I mean, normally they just drop them in, not play it with any force. I mean, Ronnie still has got this red, the left corner, but which is a great pot, and again he's not had a great kiss, but he has landed on a bunker, not ideal position.
Saw a little wry smile from Ronnie there. Everything you do, that's what happens when you're not playing well. Everything you do seems to go awkward. Now, is this gun enough? So even that, if it catches the other jaw, it's okay. It comes down for the other red.
5.
He's just having a little wry smile. It's a tough game when you don't get the run, Ronnie. That was a clever shot. He tried to actually bring the blue into play with that red. Everybody has a tough day at the office. This is a tough day for Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's a tough day for Mark Selby, but he's coping with it slightly better at the moment.
At the moment, Ronnie can't buy a long pot. That was a long way off for him at his standard, but like Willie's already said, tonight he's having an hard day at the office and he's left this red to the left centre. It's not easy, but it went. I mean, sometimes, mind Willie, it's nice to see that, you know, players that you think are unbeatable do look a bit vulnerable, and he's shown tonight, as well as he's played all week, Ronnie, that he is still vulnerable. He's still not, we'll say, back to his unbelievable best, where he used to steamroller everybody. It's very intriguing.
Mark Selby.
Well, Ronnie once again can't believe the two kisses that Mark got when he missed the brown. All of a sudden the white's coming round for the two reds above the black. Just have a look at the white here. Coming perfectly round for the two reds, kisses the green. Ronnie's in trouble again. Just a safety only. That's a pretty good safety shot, because both brown and blue now are in the way for playing the up and down safety. I mean, not to risk playing that because he'll be opening the reds. Negotiated that path of the cue ball perfectly, didn't he? There wasn't a lot of room to miss the blue and the brown. Well, he's going to have to play a similar shot. Decided to play it slightly thicker, but once again he's hit the yellow. So one good pot here from Mark, which I don't think he'll take on. The cue ball in behind the yellow again here. Got to be careful he isn't going off, of course. Good pace.
Another good safety shot by Ronnie. Problem is, he's playing half a dozen good shots and then he's playing the one that's costing him.
Well, this red is on actually. He'll be playing the pot here. Well, he did play the pot, but it marked too thin. And once again, been very fortunate. This is the blue full, he leaves something on. Little shake in the head from Ronnie. He's getting a little bit frustrated.
Yes, well, you'd have to say that Mark Selby is having a little bit of run of the ball at the moment. But out of the two players, he's probably playing the better snooker.
Well, Mark Selby 4.
It was a very tough safety shot he was playing there. He was very near the cushion. He's trying to do it very, very thin. In some ways, it's probably better in the pocket than it drawing and staying at this end of the table, because the opening red is not absolutely certain to get onto any other colour bar the yellow. We know that the black pot's in the right-hand corner, but pink looks like it doesn't from this particular shot. I'm going to play through the gap of the two reds and just roll the red in that's one up from the cushion. Just playing through the gap.
One.
Didn't risk playing for the black, decided to go up for one of the port colours. It's just a case of when he gets red so he can play for the black, and then it's okay. Till he gets the black on its spot, it's going to be tough to score.
Deep screw shot there. He arced the cue ball again now. If he's got a little angle on this red. Just want to say we could see him play up for the black. But if not, he's going to have to go back down for either blue or yellow over that corner pocket.
Six.
Just about okay as long as he's travelled far enough for this blue. Obviously important it, the cue ball's coming back down to the right end of the table. Just seems to be getting Willie just at the right time in every frame to get a good lead together.
7.
You can see how much it's a hard work break, isn't it? With that red being over the pocket, covering the pocket up, pink and black slightly out of commission at the moment. Just one good shot away from making this a good chance. The reds are beautiful, but they're all awkward. No, the fact that the yellow's off its spot makes this blue a lot easier than it would be. If the yellow was on its spot, this would be a tough blue. Mark Selby's wife Vicky is watching on. There's a little smile there. Things are not going according to plan, but he's winning. That's the art, isn't it? When you're not playing at your best, win, and that's what he's doing. He's grinding out a victory at the moment. Just going to make sure that he misses the brown, because there's so much room between brown and yellow to get back into the business end of the table. Now, if he gets on a red now, this is okay, but is he on one?
18.
Can he get through to the one over the pocket? Too risky to roll it in for the black. He'll go, probably, he could even play for the yellow here, because it's, he daren't risk playing on the blue and get on the wrong angle. Needs to go high. Needs to go high. There's nowhere. I thought he'd have played for the yellow there. It's amazing how
21.
tough this break has been. It's only 21 and he's been all around the table and still not perfect. It's been one of those matches, isn't it? Neither player can get on a board properly.
Yes, he's not looking too happy there in the seat.
Mark Selby, 21.
That's not the best shot that Mark's ever played either. Obviously, you can't have big breaks in every match and unbelievable potting. You know, there's got to be a lull somewhere along the way. You do find when you struggle, if you can struggle and get the win, normally next match it all turns around and you start playing well again. Like what he said, when they're all playing well, they're all capable of winning. It's how good your B game is. At the moment, Mark's B game is better than Ronnie's. Well, you just can't believe how close he's gone to going off there.
And if he had gone in off this time, the pink and black are in play, that would have been end of frame. But as it happens, look how close this is. And with this side he had on, I thought it was sure to go in. Beginning to look a little bit disinterested, Ronnie, but he's probably just frustrated at not being able to get things going. This is a tricky one, isn't it? And so much so I didn't even play it. There may be a gap here. Well, obviously not. He's got the cue ball right on the cushion. There you can see he's covered the red. Well, another very poor safety shot from Ronnie. This next red goes in. Can't see Mark Selby not getting the desired 40 odd points he needs to take a 5-2 lead.
One.
Got to take your hat off to Mark Selby. I mean, he's just battling out there. He knows things are not going his way either, but somehow he's developing into a chance now of taking a 5-2 lead without playing anywhere near his best.
Seven. Eight.
Referee Terry Cameroni misunderstood what Mark said. He asked for the extended rest and he thought he meant clean the cue ball, and Mark looked at him as, what are you doing? But he misunderstood what he was asking for. Wow. Completely mishit it. It's very strange what's happening this evening. We get so used to seeing these top players now just never play poorly.
15.
When he's 9 inches away from where he wanted to be there.
Well, it was close, quite close enough. It was Ronnie half a chance. And again, even if he can get through to this red, he's got awkward queuing over the brown. So again, Mark Allen's been a little bit... Mark Selby, I should say. Mark Allen was yesterday. And you can see he's full ball snookered on the one red, so he's got a mid-distance shot. And the way he's feeling, this is not easy. Well, it's just not happening for Ronnie at the moment.
They're the kind of shots, weren't they? If he'd potted that and got in, you know, around the black spot area and won the frame, they're the kind of shots that can bring you into form.
One.
That's not the best one either. Just look at Ronnie's reaction here. And he'll just play the cannon up into the pink and red, just try and push the red over the middle. If to hit the joint of the pink and red, then he's guaranteed to knock the red towards the middle pocket. That's just what he's done. There's 45 in front.
8.
Red and blue's enough. Red and pink's fine.
9.
Ronnie somehow, in the form he's in, is going to have to try and pull something out of the bag and win the last 4 frames.
$15.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark's, as we look at Ronnie, I'm sure Mark's making this a challenge. You know, Mark's not playing good, but he's kind of just making every shot a challenge, every shot giving 110%. You've got to take your hat off to Mark, the way he's sticking with it.
23.
There's only been one break over 50 in the last couple of frames. Ronnie looks at the scoreboard, admits defeat. So once again, Mark Selby wins 3 frames on the trot from the mid-session interval. He now leads in this match by 5 frames to 2.
Well, if you've just tuned in to see Lucian Freud painted life here on BBC Two Wales, that programme will now follow the conclusion of the snooker, because we know we've got at least one more frame to pay here at the Newport Centre. It's 5-2 at the moment to that man, Mark Selby, and Ronnie O'Sullivan really sort of staring at the brink now. One more frame will decide this semi-final match. Terry, we've perhaps framed our chats about, in a way, of Ronnie O'Sullivan perhaps blowing his opportunity, but let's just spin it on its head. Mark Selby really has, in these tight situations when the frames are scrappy, there's no one better at winning them, is there?
No, he's a very clever player, very good safety player. He can sit out for long periods and still go out and make a break when he gets the opportunity. So I think at the moment Ronnie doesn't look as if he's got a lot of fight left in him.
Well, it will be interesting. It's going to have to be an incredible fight back. Of course, Selby made an incredible fight back in the 2008 final to win a match against Ronnie O'Sullivan. I wonder whether Ronnie O'Sullivan can do the same to Selby.
It would be nice, wouldn't it, to see a bit of a comeback. Then we can get excited. This moment in time, Ronnie, every time he gets to the table, has actually got nothing on. He's always finishing awkward. Touching ball, which once again, when you're out of form, that's the kind of things that happen to you. It's such a straightforward safety shot for Mark now. It would have been a tricky one if it wasn't touching. Could be right in behind the green here.
Yes, that's a clever shot that is by Mark Selby, because he's left Ronnie a shot at this red to left corner. Unless Ronnie can see a easy safety, I think he'll be going for it. And if this doesn't go in, he'll definitely be giving Mark Selby a nice easy starter. And he didn't go in. Unless that red comes to his rescue, and I don't think it has. a good look.
Well, that could just be a little turning point there. That's the first bit of good run Ronnie's had. Because, for all intents and purposes, that looked like it was going to be an easy starter. I think he'll still take this on and run through for the blue, or possibly a baulk colour. This is a lot more difficult. Oh dear. Very good. I thought he was going to hit the par jaw there. Excellent pot. Just thought he was going to jaw and stay on the pocket. All these top players, though, okay, they're not playing well at the moment, but all these top players, usually when they see the winning post, can close a match out very quickly. And Mark Selby is one of those players that normally does that. I'm not sure whether this evening it's normal. We'll know in the next 5 minutes or so, because this is a great chance for framing a match.
$40.
A couple of options now available to Mark. He's got a loose red to the left of pink. We might see him go into the pack of reds. Everything else is sort of covered. He might see some value. This time he's playing for the loose one. But we know the two behind the black. They don't pass each other to the right corner. So still a bit of work to do before this becomes a very good chance.
Didn't play the green well, did he? Could have done with being virtually straight on this red to get onto the black. He's going to possibly have to go up for the blue again now. Could roll it in and get for the pink, but you can see he's queuing low on the cue ball. Now you may have to take your choice of shot down the green into the red just below the pink. Unless the one just below the pink pot's in the left-hand corner. So obviously nothing potted, taken at a risk, and the risk hasn't worked.
22. Mark Selby, 22.
Whether it's a pot or a safety, Selby always gives 100%. Just glued the white on the top cushion. And that's a better safety shot. That's a wonderful safety shot.
That looks very, very good indeed. Very good.
As me just said a few seconds ago, it's a wonderful safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and then he has to put it with that safety shot from Mark Selby. Doesn't want to kiss that red, because this red might pot. Ronnie just looking up to myself in the commentary box, suggesting he thought he'd hit the black first, but definitely red first. Just the red. The Mark just playing with a little bit of side here, just to swerve. The red doesn't pop, but he can swerve it.
1.
will have to play the cannon into the 3 reds because there's no other reds available at the moment. Oh, I thought the black potted the way he played that, so obviously not.
Mark Selby 1.
Everything's a challenge to Mark. Just wants to win good, win ugly, all the same. I'm impressed with this performance, to be honest, from Mark, because you know, he's just had to grind the result out. Once again, right-hand side, Ronnie's Achilles heel tonight, playing a little bit of right-hand side there. Obviously didn't do it quite right. Making sure the referee, Terry Caminova, just making sure the ball's in the right position.
There you can see with our little squares or circles running down the table as you see them. That was his previous shot where he was trying to playing with a bit of right hand side, and that's how the cue ball takes effect. It starts off straight, and obviously as it comes down to your string, yeah, my one's going a bit left and right, but it should be just going left. I'm a poor artist. I'm sure Damien could give me a couple of tips who's in the crowd, but this time he's got a very good contact.
A very good shot, but as you can see, he's left a gap again. Nothing's going right for Ronnie O'Sullivan. You can get through to the 3 reds, you can get through to the one next to the black. Now, when things are going well, when you're playing well, that white ends up behind the brown or yellow. When you're struggling, there's always a gap. And this time Ronnie's been left a gap. The one on the pink spot you can see, which I don't think will pass the other 2 reds into the corner. So he'll have to just be playing a safety. And once again, he'd have loved that black being in play, but he's pushed the black safe.
This has been an hard performance by both players, but like Willie's already said, Mark Selby, he's a real grafter. He has had a lot of run. Maybe when this match is finished, he could be putting a lottery ticket on as well. But he can't believe that he's got Ronnie in this kind of form tonight. He's been expecting Ronnie to come out all guns firing, like he's done all week. Just hasn't quite happened. But he still looks, doesn't he, Willie, as if he's not going to give up the ghost just yet, and he's still in there fighting.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Ronnie. His demeanour. Okay, he's looking pretty sad because he knows he's not playing well, but he's not giving in. He's still playing the safety shots the correct way. Just needs one good red to go in and get onto a colour nicely, and he can be off and running. But there again, when something like that happens, it's frustrating. Who's next?
Mark Selby 1.
Well, the only red he can hit and get safe is the one that's right over the pocket, so he's going to play the arc. Trying to hit the one right over the pocket. He needs to hit it, because if he doesn't, he'll be leaving it on. Surely he can't go around the back of this red, can he? No, he's completely misjudged it. Hit the wrong ball.
1.
People at home might be, and in the audience might be wondering why I didn't play for the blue there, but needed that pink back in play. Pink on its spot. This could possibly turn out to be a frame-winning chance. Without the pink on its spot, it wouldn't be. One of the most unusual matches I've seen actually for the last 3 or 4 years, where we've been every top 10 player at least is always one of them has always played well. It's very unusual. You see them both struggling a little bit. There's only been 150 breaks since the interval.
Eight.
Once again, it's gone wrong.
You can see pot success. I mean, Mark Selby has low for him, 88%. Ronnie at 83%. Well, that's just helped Mark Selby's percentage. At least one. Great long pot on the blues. He's going to have to dig another one out if he wants to continue with this effort. Straight into the middle. Well, another good pot. Needs the cue ball to come off the side cushion, so this is not a gimme. The pink into right centre. I mean, he got the added advantage if he does go for it and pots it, he'll be cannon the red towards the right corner. Just might feel the risk is too much. He does play the right shots, Willie.
With the reds and black where they are, though, I think there's more advantage taking the pink on than not. So decided to put the blue safe, just clip the blue on the cushion and probably play the white onto the baulk cushion. And this is proper match snooker. This is really, really grinding snooker. Not taking any risks. And this is what you've got to do in this game. We've often said, when you're playing well, you can win. Can you win when you're playing bad? Mark Selby has been excellent this evening. He's not played one bad shot as far as the safety is concerned.
There's a tempter. A tempter to right corner. He can play this now and he's not really going to leave anything on other than the red he's playing, as long as he gets it close. Play off the side cushion for the pink. He might elect to play the half ball safety, but you do feel he's going to have a go at this one. No problems. Very well played shot. Hit that one perfect.
He'd only played a decent safety shot there, but he left the balls in such a position where Mark could play that shot with a lot of confidence. It's funny when things go wrong. They continue to go wrong. But excellent pot from Mark. Next red colour is going to be tough. He can easily get onto the red, just the 1-2 up from the one on the cushion. Get on that without a problem, but going to get onto the pink from there.
Seven.
Slowly but surely he's getting very, very close to the winning post now. That's a good shot. Just one more red needed. This has been a wonderful example for players watching, you know, win ugly. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. Tomorrow in the paper, when nobody that's seen this match, they'd have thought, oh, what a great result that is for Mark Selby. He's won 6-2. But how has he won 6-2? He's grinded the result out. Very well done, Mark Selby. Very well done. Ronnie O'Sullivan just couldn't get going this evening. He tried his heart out, Ronnie, but everything he was doing poorly, we know that. He never give in. I'm sure Ronnie will shake Mark's hand. I don't think he's in the mood to try and get 3 snookers. Yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan wasn't at the races this evening. He struggled throughout the evening. Mark Selby ground and ground and ground. And you can see how important he was. OK, he can win when he's playing great, but he's proved to us all this evening you have to scrape him off the table. He can win when he's not playing at his best. He goes into the final against Ding Junhui, a 6-2 winner.
What a tough customer Mark Selby is. An absolutely brilliant, gritty win, and he is now through to the final, where he'll play Ding Junhui. Looking forward to that one tomorrow. Terry, he is a tough character, isn't he? I mean, that match almost, well, I guess, fell into his hands in one way, but it takes a lot of graft and determination and skill to come through that sort of game.
Yes, well, some people may criticise him for what he's done and saying he's stopping Ronnie O'Sullivan playing his natural game, but I thought that was the idea of competition. You've got to do what you've got to do to win. If it's a game of football and you play an attacking side, you put a good defence out. I mean, that's how life is, you know. But it's not pretty to watch sometimes because it's not what we expect. Like, you know, somebody going in and doing a big break. We had a few 80 breaks earlier on, and after that, when Mark has really dominated that game late on, the breaks are not big. But what he's not doing is making errors. So if he's breaking down, he's playing a good safety shot. All the errors, I'm afraid, came from Ronnie O'Sullivan. So it turned into a scrappy game. How much of that was Mark Selby setting the tempo, and how much of it was you know, Ronnie creating that sort of atmosphere by missing a lot? Well, it's a bit of both, I think. And Mark Selby, you know, he'd rather do a 100 break every shot. He doesn't want to play like that all the time. But if he's called to play that type of game, then he can do it. And look, it's a very good asset to have in the game. It's similar to John Higgins. Does a similar type of thing. If he's not playing at his best, he can close the doors, as we say, and leave the guy wait for a little while for his next shot and all those things. You go out there. Nothing wrong in that. It's not bad sportsmanship or nothing at all. You go out there to win. There's the first player to 6 goes to the final, and no matter what you got to do, there's only one thing you ever got to do in the semi. You've got to get 6, and that's it. We talked in the build-up to this match about how relaxed and confident Ronnie had looked. Of course, he came here to Newport off the back of the German Masters and had played really well, some of his best stuff in the early rounds here. Isn't it interesting how quickly things can change? Well, they can do. I mean, look, he has shown very good form here this week, and that's the first time we haven't seen him play, you know, to the standard we expect. But sometimes, I mean, he's only human. He's going to have some bad results as well and not play so well. Well, our finalist is here. Mark, very, very well played indeed. Congratulations to you. You're through to the final. I remember when we talked at the beginning of the week, I guess you would have taken this, wouldn't you, the way things went early on, to be in the final. That's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, coming into the semi-final today, I probably shouldn't have been here, like I said last time. Should have lost to Sam Baird in the first round, so every match is a bonus from then on, really. But I mean, it was a strange game. The first frame seemed to go really scrapping, and I ended up making a good break, and second frame Ronnie had a good break, and then after that I missed a lot of balls and got away with a lot, and Ronnie was missing a lot of balls, and I think obviously we probably just, well, more me, brought Ronnie down, and obviously we both started struggling and stuff, and it was just a matter of winning the scrappy frames, really. Does it suit you when a game goes scrappy? Well, I mean, obviously, I'm out there just to win a match. I mean, obviously, if it's eye breaks, it's eye breaks. If it's not, it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, you're out there just to win a snooker game. It's not always pretty. I mean, obviously, Ronnie's played matches before where he's struggled and he's managed to get over the line, but it's tough out there playing against O'Sullivan because you know that if you miss at any stage, more times than not, he's going to capitalise. OK, well, we'll talk more with Mark in just a minute, but first now we can also get some reaction from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Still credit to Mark. He played a brilliant match. He's world #1. He's been, you know, like top player for the last 5-6 years. You know, he's you know, you're not world #1 for nothing. So all credit to Mark because he played a brilliant match, and you know, just you know, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, hard to beat indeed. Very tough. A word for Ronnie. And were you surprised that he came into this match so confident, seemed to be kind of rediscovering that form that we know of old? Were you surprised that he seemed to sort of miss quite a lot and didn't look himself?
I think obviously because it's a clash of styles. I mean, obviously Ronnie's really flowing and seems to get on with it, and I have matches sometimes where I do flow and get on with it, and then other times obviously I struggle and have to just scrap it out. But I mean, obviously that don't suit Ronnie's style. But I mean, obviously that's out of my hands. I can only do what the balls are doing. And like I say, today I think obviously I played okay in patches, but I got a lot of run of the ball, which was the difference, I think.
Well, let's talk about the final then. Ding Junhui tomorrow. He, I guess, has had to scrap his way through some of the rounds as well. You know, very tight one against Stephen Lee. How do you see the final going? What sort of opponent is he?
Well, I mean, obviously he's a great player. He's probably one of the best players at the moment. He seems to be getting his form back. Great all-round player at such a young age. So, I mean, it's going to be another tough game. And like I say, obviously, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Chinese people here watching and a lot of Chinese people in China supporting him. So it's going to be a tough match.
Well, we can have a look at your head-to-head here, Mark. You played each other 14 times. It's very evenly split, 7 wins apiece. I think the last time you played, semi-final of the 2011 Wuxi Classic, which you won 6-5. But I guess people also remember that World Championship quarter-final when Ding beat you 13-10 last year. Is that something that you'll think about at all, or are these matches are ancient history?
Not really. I mean, it's irrelevant. I mean, I know that going into the match today against O'Sullivan, somebody asked me what was our stat against each other, and I think he's beat me more times than I've beat him. But I didn't go into the match thinking, oh, I've got no chance, because obviously he's won more times than I have. So I'll just go in there and play my own game, and if it's not good enough, it's not good enough.
Well done, Mark, today. Very, very well played, and we look forward to seeing you in the final tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so you can see that final, an intriguing match it should be. Mark Selby against China's Ding Junhui, and you'll be able to see that game here on BBC Two Wales at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll take you right through the day. Should be an intriguing game. Thanks very much for your company today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 1 o'clock here on BBC Two Wales. From all of us here, a very good night.